Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tabletop Notch, A Peek Beneath the Veil. Tonight will be chapter 66 of our beloved campaign.
One more six.
A little bit of...
One more six.
A little, what?
666.
Oh, we have 600 more episodes, you're saying?
Yeah.
You'll say.
We will be diving into what might amount to a late and interesting evening as Graven and Safira work their way into the complex that is Leopold's Garrison and what may have in store for that. But before that, anybody have any thoughts, things they want to say? Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I think you just took that from Leah.
No, she gets the weird ones. We can as a group wish
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day
However
and
you
love
choose
to
to.
you and everyone.
I have nothing.
Wow. Well then, I have more time to
I
bid.
have no one.
Well, it is Valentine's Day. That is
Yes,
correct. And
yes.
to go along with that, shocker, it's National Cream-Filled Chocolate Day. Seems
Nope.
seems a little, and I did see
Everyone
Cadbury eggs
relax.
already out. I know we have some fans.
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
cool.
Obviously. But it's also National Ferris Wheel Day. So take a ride on that.
In
and
February? Why would that be true?
It'd be so chilly up top.
Gearing up for the carnival season.
Yeah, but you put a coat on,
Right.
you take a loved one up,
Right, it's like one of
Enjoy.
those bachelor dates where you just go by
Yep.
yourself.
you get stuck up there.
Right.
And
The guy falls
have a
asleep.
panic attack because you're
Oh,
stuck
there
on
it
top of
is.
a Ferris wheel.
Right.
This all sounds like
Yeah,
really
like in
romantic.
Australia, I'm sure it'd be great to go on first.
that is.
But also,
It's Australian Ferris Wheel Day. That's
yeah, that's oh, got it. Yes, that's an observance there. But also, in times of hearts and feeling well, it's National Organ Donor Day. So helping out people.
Donate your organs now.
Yeah,
Right now.
put that on your license and head on over when you're.
And speaking of bashing in people's organs, it might be time to turn to our intro and chapter 66 of A Peek Beneath the Veil. We're going to throw it over, and we'll see you on the other side.
What's today's date?
Welcome back. In chapter 65, A Night of Knuckles, we took some time to size up Joella's posse as we proceeded to the northwest corner of Leopold's garrison, where some out-of-commission animal pens were sectioned off for our use. With only our instincts to guide us, we had some difficulty discerning the most favorable matchups, and that uncertainty was enough for us to pay a good bit of coin for some intel from a questionable source. A crowd began to gather, and it became clear that the word had spread. But it was too late to back out, even when we noticed a suspicious individual scoping out the scene from the back of the emerging audience. Joella made her terms clear. If we won, she would leave Leopold's tonight and head back to Hacketon. But if we lost, it would be us hitting the road without a good night's sleep. First in the ring was Graven, who survived an early onslaught of punches to outlast the hefty elf Tundor, and we took an early lead in this best of 5.
Yeah.
Next was Safira, who saw through just about everything that the lanky Erosan threw her way, cruising to victory and putting a decent sum of money in Orba's pocket, who had fancied betting on her friends over the favored Garrison regulars.
I have to fucking relive this.
Our win streak came to an end when Joella stepped forward to fight, as Erland found that the structured nature of these boxing matches prevented him from utilizing his usual breadth of skills. With our team up 2-1, we turned to Beezaura, who called out Silmuva, believing that the Tiefling's scrappiness would be bested by the Halfling's hardiness. In convincing fashion, we took the match and the series, and a frustrated Joella stormed off to make the arrangements for her departure. It was a satisfying end to what had been a frustrating inability to help, and we even snuck in an extra round of fisticuffs for Orba, who put on a good show despite ultimately falling to her much larger half-orc opponent.
Yeah, that's right.
Afterwards, we made for Leopold's lodgings, with plans for a nightcap before starting tomorrow anew. But we didn't make it that far before being stopped by the strange onlooker from before. His declared association with the Gentle Void immediately put Beezaura on edge, but it was Safira he was looking for, and they stepped into a nearby tent for a private chat. The man was impressed by Safira's performance against her favored opponent, and wanted to let her in on the prisoner fight nights that we'd heard about from the Goliath we met earlier that day. The reigning champion, who called himself the Chimera, was tough enough that the potential payout for his defeat had gotten tantalizingly large, and this Gentle Void agent was willing to cash in the necessary favors to get Safira a shot at the challenger. The idea of going into the lion's den didn't appeal to most of us, especially when considering the additional cost of our hard-earned favors. But Safira understandably didn't want to go alone, and Graven wanted to get a look at the man who was boasting a nickname that seemed like maybe more than just a coincidence. While the two of them retreated to their bedroom to get focused on the plan ahead, Erland, Orba, and Beezaura waited up in the dining area for the possible arrival of Leto, who'd yet to return from his search for the Micrawl den and his missing husband. As the hours ticked by, our apprehension over his whereabouts grew, and as we headed up to bed with a sinking feeling in our stomachs, we asked ourselves, would there be any opportunity at all for Safira to speak to her mountain-born opponent before or after their late-night round of pugilism?
Maybe during.
Had Leto made any progress in discerning the location or cause of the mutant attack? And wasn't it nice to think that the Magamet brothers might someday hear of the renowned boxers Becca and Sarah and smile to themselves? We find out now, in chapter 66 of A Peek Beneath the Veil. In their separate rooms, just a few doors apart, at Leopold's lodgings, the atmosphere inside couldn't be more different. In one, Safira and Graven stare wide-eyed at the ceiling, tensely counting down the minutes to their late-night rendezvous and speculating as to what they might find when they get there. In the other, it's a low-energy feeling of disappointment, as Erland has yet to receive word from Leto, and he's been dissuaded from embarking on a solo campaign to seek him out. It gets to be past 1 a.m., and at this point everyone has taken a short rest at this point, so if there's anything you want to do to that effect,
Probably.
you may.
Short rest.
You can roll hit die for a little bit of extra hit points, any
Down
skills that
2.
come back on.
No, I can't.
Oh yeah, because your breathing exercises suck.
Can't even breathe.
Can't even breathe right. Not breathing right.
Last week was a hard one for me.
Couldn't win, couldn't breathe.
Why are you even still here?
Okay.
I'm good.
Late into the night, eyes are beginning to droop, and Beezaura has just about nodded off. When a knock comes at the door.
Why?
Beezaura blinks awake, and the three of you look to each other briefly.
I'll get it.
No, I'll get it.
Okay.
Okay.
The room's
And it
not
comes
that
again.
big.
Go.
I'm gonna go to the door and I'm gonna just crack. Is there like a chain lock on it, or is
There's
it
no lock on it.
There's no lock. Oh, great.
From the inside, there's like you had a key, and on the outside, you can lock it from the outside, but when you're on the inside.
There's no way to. So it's in.
So it's an open door?
What? No. You lock it from the out, and then you pull it closed.
And then it
And
automatically
then it
locks.
locks. Yes.
Great.
So you don't have to undo anything. Is
Okay.
the point I'm trying to make.
I'm gonna keep a hand on it, so if
So
they do try and
explain
kick it, I can
door
perhaps brace
philosophy.
it. I'll crack it just a little bit so they can't see into the room.
You crack it a little bit, and you see the face of Donald, who works the desk at the room. Excuse me.
Yes.
I would never call on you so late if you hadn't given me specific instructions.
Yes, of course.
I believe Mr. Leto has arrived to speak with you. Perhaps you could speak some reason to him. I asked if he wished for me to send for a medic, but he refused.
Is he injured?
It looks that way, yes. Not terribly. He came in on his own accord.
All right. Tell him I'll be down in just a moment.
Yes. One other thing. I apologize in advance for the transactional nature of what I'm about to say, but I must remind you that we have a strict 3-person per room limit. If Mr. Leto were to stay the night.
Oh, I see. Yes, I understand.
Okay, thank you. I'll be downstairs.
I'll close the door. I want to listen to make sure he goes downstairs.
Sounds like he goes downstairs.
I'm sure you heard that. Leto's downstairs.
Yes.
He definitely did. The room's very small.
I'm literally standing next to the door.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna go down and speak with him. Would you like to stay up here? Or are you going to come with me,
I would like to come if I'm invited.
Halfling?
I'll come.
I was going, yeah.
And if need be, I'll go over and stay with Graven and Safira if he wants to stay the night.
Oh, that's very kind.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna get myself together and go downstairs.
Make sure the door locks
Yes.
behind us.
Yes.
It's a very
In
suspicious door.
the traditional fashion.
So all three of you heading down.
Yeah.
So you start to go down the stairs. You return to the bottom floor, turn around the corner. The staircase is kind of just past that little dining kitchen area that you sat in for a little while. And you turn around. And you find the man from earlier that day. His blonde hair streaked with dirt, beads of sweat catching the lantern light along his temples and his jaw. He's got his hands tucked into his armpits, and he seems equally on edge as the first time you met, though now seemingly more out of perhaps fear than worry and distress. At one point, Donald is sort of cleaning up the area, like taking chairs and putting them up on tables, sort of denote the closing of the kitchen area. And he pulls one chair out and it makes kind of a sound, and you can see Leto sort of flinch at the sound a little bit as it's made. And you see Donald sort of turn and, sorry, and he goes back to working on the chairs. Portions of his left sleeve have been slashed, and there's a little bit of red stain where the cuts are made, though he seems to have made a sort of temporary bandage with a piece of cloth that he's wrapped around it. And as he sees you guys coming down the stairs, he immediately starts to talk to you, and as he does, you see, I mean, the space is very small. Donald sort of turns and hears him as he sort of speaks these first feuds to you. I found it.
Leto. I sort of move over to him.
You get close.
Should we step outside for a moment?
He looks over to Donald, who's sort of just putting another chair up and kind of... That's the chair. Oh. Yes.
Alright, I'm gonna lead him outside, and I'll sort of nod to Donald.
Great. You do so. You guys following them out?
Yeah, I guess as we're following him out just to Erland, not secretly or anything,
Do we need healing? Do we need Graven? I
guess
No,
I can-
they should stay resting. They have a long night.
Okay.
You start to head out. And you push your way out the door and you go into kind of the very late night atmosphere of Leopold's Garrison. You can hear a few people milling about, some sort of drunkards sort of maybe humming or just nodding off to sleep on benches. A couple of the like gambling tables, you can see people kind of have their heads down, lying, falling asleep. So it's very quiet out here. Most of the people have gone into their tents or the lodgings or to that effect. You stand kind of out. There isn't really a porch, but there's a little overhang just outside the entrance to Leopold's lodge.
Is there a place for him to sit down there? Or?
There isn't,
Okay.
no. He sort of stands there. He doesn't seem to be struggling to stand or move, for what it's worth. I found it. And I suppose I have you to thank that I'm here to tell you about it. After you left, I searched the area further. And I found some markings on a tree that seemed to lead in a particular direction. Then some other signs as I followed them. Horse droppings, not fresh, but indicating mounted travel. Some grooves in the grass where a wagon or cart may have been pulled through. In a small pocket between two hills, I found a dilapidated home. I think I knew right away when I saw it, the condition that it was in. That's what I was looking for. It didn't take long for me to see signs of violence. There was a pair of dead horses tied to hitching posts outdoor, and the door looked like it had been smashed in, the front door. Everything in me wanted to rush inside, see if Roy was still alive, but I gritted my teeth and I heeded your warning, and I waited. I waited for hours at a distance. I vowed not to enter if I saw any sign of movement at all, anything coming in or out, any noise, light, anything. But nothing happened, not even so much as a stray animal wandering through. So I steadied my hand and I approached. It was a massacre inside. The floorboards stained red, bodies mangled but lying orderly, not strewn about, no wounds on the arms or hands, no signs of fighting back. I heard a noise from the other room before I was able to go through the entire house, and I immediately started to reach for the whistle that you gave me. I don't know where it came from. It was so fast, like it appeared from nowhere. It grabbed me by the arm. It wasn't an enormous creature, but it was frighteningly strong. And a man, or perhaps an elf, but it had these sort of warped features. It had an enormous lump on its shoulder, sort of amorphous in shape. It wobbled as the creature moved, almost as if there was liquid underneath the skin. I had my hand in my satchel, gripping the whistle, but my arm was pinned by the creature, and I thought that surely this was the end. It stopped, suddenly. Its eyes were affixed to a bag on my waist, and after a moment its grip loosened. It reached for my bag, and I took that moment to yank the whistle out, and I blew as hard as I could. The creature recoiled, and I scampered for the door. I am ashamed to say that I did drop the whistle in my haste. As I was climbing atop my horse to flee, I spared a moment to look back, and it seemed like the creature was running north, away from the building, with my satchel in its hand. Still, I dared not turn around, and I rode here as fast as I could.
Are you feeling all right?
Yes, there's a little bit of blood just from where the creature was holding me, but I think I'm mostly all right. He sort of pats himself down once more. You get the feeling as he looks himself over that he hadn't even really stopped to sort of take stock in his condition until this moment. He sort of...
We have healing if you need it.
I don't think that that's entirely necessary, but
All right.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
What was in the satchel that he took?
It was being used as a coin purse. It had my money in it.
There was nothing else in the satchel?
No.
Was the satchel used as something else prior?
It was dark red in color. It was made of velvet. It was given to me by someone in Navikapura. Niels Bargus is an alchemist there. He's a potion peddler in Dienst, which is in Navika West. I had been commissioned to build some things for his shop, simple things, shelving, racks, and he gave it to me as a gift when the job was completed. It had an embroidered N on it for Niels' shop. No one had ever asked about the satchel at all. I don't think there was anything special about it.
Did it seem true to me that nothing else was in it other than gold?
Give me an insight check.
Fuck off. 9.
It's difficult to see through his sort of shaken nature that he's currently in.
When the creature ran off, did you see if it had the whistle as well, or...?
I don't think it did, no. I dropped the whistle just before I went through the door.
Okay.
And the creature hadn't followed me that far, so I don't believe so.
Remind me, you had a piece of a finger, right?
Yes, I did.
Did it seem like that was the finger of that creature? Was that creature missing a finger?
It's possible. It moved so quickly I didn't get a great look at it, but it could have been. Its hands were very large. The finger was not with me at the time. It was on my horse, which was outside.
And that finger was given to you by the old man, you said?
By the man who came to tell me about the
Yes.
den, yes.
Yes.
I apologize, our minds are a little distracted. Your husband?
I didn't get a chance to look around.
Okay.
There was 3 bodies in the first room that I entered into. None of them were Roy. But like I said, I didn't get to look through the whole house.
Right. How long of a journey was it from the house back to here, back to us?
At a good pace, 3.5 hours.
Okay. And I'm sorry, the alchemist in Navikapura West, Niels
Yes,
Bargus.
Niels Bargus.
Vargas, thank you.
Bargus, just B-A-G-A-S, Bargus.
Vargas.
Do you have any place to stay?
I'll probably stay here for the night, but I'm going back.
Tomorrow morning?
No. Now. I came back here to tell you and hopefully to hire someone to come with me. I'm not going to leave without my husband's body, and I feel like now is the best opportunity possible. It seems that the creature had fled, and I'd rather not wait long enough that I feel like the creature could have returned.
I see.
That's smart, I think. We should go.
I agree.
I was going to attempt to convince one or more of you to head south. Now that I know where the house is exactly, I could lead you there. I could offer you money, or as you said before, discounted services in Navikapura, if that interests you. I know a lot of people in Navikapura. I wouldn't say that I'm a man who has many deep relationships, but I do know people I can introduce you.
I do like that.
Yes.
Honestly, as a trade. We'll be short on hands, but
It'll just be us 3.
Even one would have sufficed.
well, we don't like to split up, as
I understand.
I'm sure you know.
Alright.
We should let them know,
Yes.
and then perhaps get on our way as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
Alright.
let's go.
Do you have another whistle, just in case?
Our companion does, I believe, yes.
Do either of you have one?
No.
No?
I believe Graven might.
We can get another one.
As I said, the creature fled, but
Yes, no, that's
it's
not.
the only thing that kept me alive, so...
Yes.
That's not.
All right.
All right. We'll,
Let's go talk to.
We'll meet you at the stables.
Yes, I'll go get my horse.
All right. Our horses, I believe, are also at the stables, so meet you there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And you see him, and he moves off, and he's walking slowly. He's a little shell-shocked, more so than actually injured. Sure. Like, he's walking slowly, but he doesn't look like he's limping or, like, sort of nursing a major wound. Yeah, he's more a little sort of shook by the experience.
Well, let's let them know that we're going.
Yes, I was thinking, I don't know, we'll be absent of a healer. I don't know what our healing potion supply is like. Perhaps
I
Zoe...
have 2.
I have 1.
Oh, okay. Alright. Wow. Okay. That's good.
Do you have 1?
She's like, oh, who needs Graven?
Aww.
Got your little red potions.
I do. I have one as well.
Well,
I also have the healing girdle.
That's true. Yeah.
Got like 5 tiny little ravens.
Oh no. Okay, so basically we just need the whistle. Anything else?
I can't think of anything. I don't know what they have. Maybe we can just ask Safira. And...
Alright. Let's go. I'll go to room
So
19.
you head back in. As you head back in, it seems like Donald is sort of finishing up, sort of pushing everything out of the way in the kitchen type area, and he sees you as you come back in. Was your friend alright?
I
yes.
think so, yes. Just a little
Shaken.
shaken.
Thank you for letting us know that he arrived.
Yes, of course.
Seemed he was attacked by bandits on the road or something.
Make a deception check.
Why did you even have
You
to
have to say
that?
See that?
He was a little skeptical already.
He's
He read the
skeptical.
He
skepticism.
was, but he wasn't like, if he would have asked.
Stop.
5.
Fire.
He looks at you as he says that, and he sort of... Bandits outside Leopold's Garrison.
Several hours away, not nearby.
I'm glad he's alright.
According to Leto, at least, I don't.
Like I said, I'm glad he's alright.
Says his name. I just don't get this guy sometimes.
He goes back to his...
He knew it was already named Leto.
Sure.
He did know.
Oh,
Okay, so start to move up the stairs, and you head sort of over to... What did we say it was? 19? 19.
Safira.
I'm gonna kind of like
Is the door locked?
open the door.
Hi. Sorry. Hi.
What's up?
Okay. So Leto came, and he found the scary guy, and he found the cabin, and we're gonna go, and...
Hang on, what?
Leto is here. He found the mutant and the cabin. We are going to go with him to find and recover his husband's corpse. And
Wait, right now?
yeah.
Yes.
How far away is it?
3.5 hours.
3 hours.
3.5 hours one way.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll be back probably in the morning at the same time you'll be done, likely.
Probably in the morning. Wait, hang on. But you said Leto encountered one of these creatures?
Yes.
Yes,
It.
but-
You go ahead.
No, he encountered the creature, but he said the creature fled north. So hopefully it hasn't returned yet.
Is it north this way?
North would be Navikapura.
Did he still have the whistle?
No, we
that's-
were actually hoping.
You have the extra one, right, Goliath?
Well, if they're going there, you should take it.
What we need to do before we leave in haste here is come up with a plan of how we are going to make sure that everybody is all right at the end of this evening.
I
Can meet you.
imagine,
We have the
Well, I
room.
think
I
we
imagine
just-
we'll be done in 3.5 hours.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, no.
who's to say?
7 hours for them to come back.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We'll likely be done before you, so
so
should we plan to wait here for you, or try to...
I would say we head in that direction.
yes,
I
If
think
something
so.
goes wrong, we'll be 3.5. Well, we'll
Alright.
be very far behind.
So when you're done,
That's true.
ride along the main road and we'll hopefully meet up with you.
it's
There's no way you can give us directions to this.
it's a small. Yes. It's in a small pocket between 2 hills.
He
And it's a-
apparently.
The description's tough. Part of the thing, Erland saw the map that he had,
Yeah.
and if one assumes it's in the vicinity of that, I mean, you don't know exactly. He was able to track it because he spent all day looking.
The place where you remember where we met him?
Yes.
Yes. If you ride towards that, it's in that area at least.
There were.
We will
markers.
be able to meet, connect with the main road and find you. But there are tree markings or wagon
Is
tracks.
there a way that you guys can send up some kind of a signal or something?
How are we going to know when you're
I would say we should come up with some kind of symbol that you can put
Yes,
On
as
the
you're,
main road.
as
on the
you're
tree
walking.
along
Right.
the
Yes.
trees. I don't don't know what's.
Were there
recognizable
trees
to all of
along the
us.
road, or
Yeah,
was there-
sparsely.
Okay.
It wasn't treeless, but it wasn't like a forest. But yeah, here and there.
We'll carve makeshift bees for Benji along the path.
All right. And the last
Simple
one.
line and 2 triangles, and then you'll see the house. Hopefully.
Maybe the last one will be
Oh, I could I have remember
a doobly-doo or something.
that. Oh no, I was going to say. Remember that woman that we murdered and I stole her clothing? I still have her bandana, the yellow one. I could put that on a tree somewhere, marking it.
You mean the
as-
woman you borrowed it from?
Oh, are we not in the room?
No, you are.
I could tie it up.
Okay, so
Bees until the yellow.
And then you'll see a house, and that's hopefully where it'll be.
All right.
okay.
Um,
Keep yourself safe.
vampires. What do we need to know?
Oh,
Because it's nighttime.
that's not something I even thought about.
Would I know anything about vampire information?
You're aware of their general. I mean, I will say what you generally know about vampires is probably what you know. You know the legend of them, what they're sort of weak to in general. They fly, they bite, they turn people
What
into
are they
vampires.
weak to in a not like
Water, silver.
crucifix
Yeah.
world?
Water and silver.
Crucifix.
Oh, so silvered.
Silver.
weapons.
Keep
Right,
your
my silver
distance
gloves.
as best you can.
Light as well.
Oh, light.
If it's like daylight,
Yeah,
yes,
like-
like not
Oh,
like natural
not
light.
Right,
Not-
like radiant damage is.
Radiance is sort of a natural light, but not like a fire, like just.
Yeah.
like-
Or like if I lit
Oh.
something with
It-
thaumaturgy or something.
No, if you made an object glow, that wouldn't
Got
be
it.
like.
Fire, though, is...
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. The light from fire is not like
I see.
daylight.
Well, I have my flail, so it's silver.
So the silver gloves.
Silver gloves I have, yes.
And just try to keep your distance as best you can.
Yeah.
All right.
They will.
I would also say, Graven, you would know that if you went up against a actual
true
vampire,
vampire.
your best option is to run.
Yes.
If he was a vampire spawn, like a turned, not full blood vampire, then that's
How can
not
you-
as threatening.
How can you tell?
I think you'll be able to tell.
What does that? Why?
Will we, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's just hope we don't
Going on
run
instincts.
into
Okay.
one.
All right. Thank you. May we have the whistle?
Yes, I took it out.
Who's taking it?
I do not have a room.
What do you have in
Hang it
there?
around your neck, you foolish
I
man.
can take
Can't
it.
wear it.
Go
I'll take
ahead.
it.
Bizarre.
I have plenty of space. Although my gold is
Weighing her pants down.
weighing me down. Jesus.
Stick it in your craw.
She's getting sexy.
Good.
Excuse
Good
me?
luck on your fight
Oh yeah.
and
Cheers.
the person. And we'll see you soon.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Off we go.
Stay
See
safe.
you in a few hours.
Don't forget the bees.
Several hours.
Yes, as we're riding, do one of you have a dagger of some sort?
Me.
All right.
Do you want to take? Does anybody have saddlebags? Would anybody like to take
I have
my
saddlebags.
saddlebags?
I have 2 saddlebags.
Okay.
Yes.
Same.
In case you
I think
find
the only person who
anything
doesn't
good.
have saddlebags is Safira. So okay.
Yeah, true.
2 saddlebags and you're still full.
No, I would be encumbered walking to my horse.
If you're not in a town situation, you can carry.
Jeez.
Go on without me.
What a princess. He has so
I
many
can't hold that
belongings.
whistle.
I'm picturing it in like Witcher terms.
He's like, don't hand me that whistle.
minutes to get to the
Please.
stable.
No, I cannot be encumbered by that whistle. Do not give it to me. That would just be so encumbering. I cannot.
One
All
girl
right.
does
Yeah, exactly.
Bless God.
Put away for him.
They exit the room. Safira and Graven sort of have a moment here before they.
I don't know who I'm more worried for.
I know. Well, I'm certainly, I don't know, I'm a bit more worried for them. At least in the jail, there's unlikely to be a, true vampire. Well, you may have a different idea than me, but I was certainly
No,
hoping
no.
that we weren't going to run
That
into
would
that.
be
I had more than enough with the Chimera to handle, frankly.
That would be awful. I would imagine that if there was a vampire this close to the garrison, that there would be word of it. But
You would hope so.
Another thing, they generally avoid populous areas. They don't like mingle among people so much. Yeah.
So, do you have any ideas for what you might want me to say to him?
I don't.
Right, well,
we'll see what the...
I mean, really, because I was asking because literally all I've got is funny name. How'd you get that dumb name? You big dumb idiot. I don't know what to say. What do you think? I don't know what to do. That's the best I've got.
Perfect opener.
It's hardly, it's not really my strong suit, right? I'm not exactly known for my charm.
I'm not sure we'll even get a chance to speak with him.
Well, no, what I'm saying is the only chance I get to get words out of him, I think, is either before we start fighting or when we're actually, in it.
Yeah. I would say just focus on staying on your feet, at least, to begin with. And then...
So you're saying I shouldn't waste mental energy trying to come up with insults.
No. It's best if you
I
focus.
promise I'll take this seriously, I'm so sorry.
Maybe he has a handler or something I can speak to.
A handler? Like a, correctional officer kind of guy?
Somebody who makes money off of him or something.
Oh, right, like a manager.
Sure.
Weird. Okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm fine. We're fine.
Do you want to wrap your hands or anything? Or
Safira's just like, she's bound.
It's still like an hour to go. Just bumping herself up.
It's only like 1:45.
She's doing her warm-ups.
Do you want to spar with me?
What, you want to put your hands up?
In this room, you go.
Just poke each other.
Yeah.
As they think about that, we'll head down to the lobby, and then you guys... was there anything you want to say to Donald? Or you headed over to the stable?
I don't want to lie again to him, Just going out.
You know, it's from the store, Donald. I'm just running to the store.
Check out. Like, are we
Leaving?
coming back home?
What time do we have the rooms until?
Standard is like
Tomorrow?
11 o'clock. Yeah.
It's fine. Maybe.
Yeah, that's optimistic, but okay. Alright.
I mean, you've got people here who can settle your
Yeah.
affairs if
Yeah.
need be.
Well, we always take keys. And I feel bad.
Oh yeah, I have like the Arn Chupa kid, the Hookoo kid.
That's why my bag is
Like
so...
a janitor. He's got
That's why my bag is so light, because all I have is
That's
keys.
why I'm encumbered.
Magical keys. They disappear after like a month.
I have 2 keys from a kid, 2 keys from John's.
Get out of here. Alright, no, I don't
Collection.
have anything to say.
No.
You really do.
I do. I have like 4 keys.
You guys head outside and you head over to the stables. And already Leto has kind of tacked up his horse. He's not on it, but he's sort of there, ready. You can see him kind of looking around, sort of waiting, and he catches sight of you as you're kind of approaching, and he moves forward a little bit. Got the whistle then?
Yes,
We
it's
do.
in my bag.
Excellent. All right. It's a bit of a ride. Are you ready?
I'm gonna grab our horses.
Sure. Yes. We'll say go get them. Yeah, there's still someone working sort of late night at the stable.
Do you need anything before we get going again?
No, I think I'd like to get there as quick as possible.
Okay.
If worse comes to worse and we do get in another fight, are you at all able, or would you prefer to stay back and hidden? Be honest. It's more useful if you're honest now than if you get into a fight and you don't know what you're doing.
He looks down and he has like a dagger on his belt, and
gosh.
I work for a blacksmith, and we make blades. I've
If
used
we
them a
get
little bit.
in a fight with perhaps the creature or anything more than a common crook, stay back.
All right. Yes.
It will be more work if we're trying to rescue you and fight something.
Make a persuasion check.
God, fuck right.
Oh my god, dude.
7.
All right. I'll do my best. Yes. I will.
Also, I think suffice it to say we don't stop for any kind of conversations, no matter who we run into.
Agreed.
No, thank you.
Haste.
Yes. All right. I'll lead the way.
Great. Orba's gonna have her dagger out ready to go.
It's like a while before you get to where he was saying. I mean,
Right,
yeah,
I know.
but sure.
She's gonna ride
Trees along the
it,
way.
hitting the air just in case.
I'm
Who knows what's down here?
prepared young lady.
I got air.
And you get beyond the exterior walls of the garrison. You start to ride out. The wind whips up. And you're immediately hit with the reality of this sort of impending long night. The traffic in and out is almost non-existent at this point. You see one slow-moving carriage that's led by an elderly gentleman who looks like he's kind of falling asleep at the reins a couple times. He kind of just jerks himself awake, and he sort of gives you a wave as he passes by. In contrast, Leto has this sort of alertness and focus, almost like an owl. I mean, his head is swiveling like back and forth as he moves along the road, knowing what the sort of darkness may have in store. He carries a lantern that he had one attached to his horse, and he kind of turned it and the oil lights up. So he's not holding it up, but it's attached to his horse. So you can follow the sort of...
I get one. Yeah, we should do that.
I mean, it's like a regular lantern. It's just attached to a saddlebag.
It's got a special hook.
Yes, it's got a saddlebag hook. And you can see if they sell that at his blacksmith. It's like we specialize in lantern holders. He's riding along. You can follow the kind of bob and glow of the lantern as he moves forward. He keeps his horse moving at a pretty good clip, but he doesn't want to kind of exhaust his horse too quickly. So he moves quickly, but not at a sort of full sprint or anything. And he rarely looks back to make sure that you're keeping pace. He's sort of focused, confident that you guys are behind him, moves along. You get the sense that while he's extremely thankful for your assistance, this is a man who may have made the trip alone if he had no other choice, a sort of focus and determination on this particular task. And he talks out a little bit behind as he goes. It's going to be a little while, but I'll show you the markings that I found when I get there. They're these sort of bluish chalk marks. It's like a paint or something, I'm not sure. I was surprised that the color hadn't faded much, despite the fact that it seemed no one had returned there recently. I could be wrong about that, of course. Maybe someone had come by. I don't know if they bothered to remark the trees.
Erland didn't, as we're riding,
Yeah.
didn't Safira say that there was like a paint somebody used? Oh gosh, when was this? She found paint, and it's a special army paint.
No tellies.
It's a special army paint that they use, and it doesn't wash away as fast, and it's...
Oh, it's the one of the mushrooms. One of the plants.
I'm gonna think about it while we ride, but that sounds like what you're describing.
It was one of the plants that... Oh my god. There's no way I have notes on that.
I was gonna say, like, I could pretend to look, but I know I don't have that written down there.
What's his demeanor seem like? Does he seem like on edge or?
Leto?
Yeah.
I mean, yes. I mean, he seems the same demeanor, but it doesn't seem like his demeanor's changed, but yes, he does seem on edge.
So in a bit of an attempt to perhaps calm him down as we're riding, because it's a little while before we're going to start seeing markings.
Sure.
Leto, you and Roy, how long have you been married?
Officially married 12 years, but together much longer than that.
How did you meet?
As I said, we met in Oranchupa. We were both looking for jobs. He was working at the docks, and I had a brief job as a courier for the Office of the Broken Crown. Nothing special, just delivering notes. That's pretty much it. And he sort of changes the subject a little bit. You seemed interested when we first spoke about things related to the myconid trade. It sort of perked up your ears. I don't have much to say other than, as I said, hopefully part of my payment can be introductions or pointing you in the right direction. I could introduce you to some of the contacts I spoke with. I mentioned that when I was looking for Roy, I sought out contacts that I believed were involved in the myconid trade.
In Navikapura?
Yes.
That could indeed be useful. Do you know any by name? Or?
Yes. I spoke to a weapons expert in Villersvet, which is in Navika West. His name's Sarn Darrow, Sarndarrow, Sarn Darrow.
Yeah.
He didn't have any leads for me, but that's just a name that I had heard. If you were looking for myconid products, that was someone you could ask.
What is the, I suppose, mood and legality surrounding myconid extract in Navikapura?
It's largely ungoverned, I would say.
Is it frowned upon?
No, not in particular. I know that the Gentle Void have invested a lot of money at the docks in Navikapura recently, setting up a sort of trade with the other continents. I know that they ship myconid products overseas. That's sort of known. It's not a secret at all, really. I wouldn't say that the assumption about myconid products is that they're bad or harmful. We haven't had too much trouble with them. I know that that's been different in other places.
Yes.
Anyone else of note?
I was just going to ask you, is there anyone, a type of person that you're looking for that I could introduce you to? I do know a lot of people. I'm not high society, but I work for a blacksmith and we've done work for a number of people. Is there anyone you were looking for heading north?
No.
Knowing that you were meeting? No? Just headed there on your own business?
Well, we were heading there mostly for bounty work. We're not terribly familiar with the area.
The Broken Crown has contracts available, I know.
Do you know Lieutenant Colonel Orba in Navikapura?
I know of him, yes. I believe he heads the sort of unit in Navikapura for the Broken Crown.
You don't know him personally, though?
I might have met him in passing. We've done construction work for the Broken Crown, but not an extended meeting, no.
Are there any prominent families working in Navikapura right now?
Yes, certainly. The shipping business, a lot of the wealthiest people live in Navika, the easternmost Navika, where the ports are and the largest part of the city is. There's a family called the Ubertis, which is, they live in Jungfire, that's in coastal Navika, which is the easternmost portion. They're a wealthy family that made their fortune in what they call companionship services.
And what does that mean?
I think it means exactly what you think it means.
We've heard that there was some territorial drama between maybe the Mollifairs and Cliff Ironcloud.
Yes, I don't know about the Mollifairs specifically, but Cliff Ironcloud runs a group that they call the Advocates.
Right, because they advocate for the
Northerners, yes,
native, yeah.
sort of averse to people in other regions coming in and buying up large portions of land because they'd rather not sort of give away the power or independence of the region.
Do you know Cliff?
I haven't met him personally, but I know of him, yes, most people know him.
But you don't know anyone who could perhaps give us an introduction to Cliff?
There's an associate of his named Celis, who I believe is a wizard. He mostly travels with Cliff, but he does have a house in Navikapura. He lives in Villasvet, which is in Navika West.
Do you know Celis?
I believe I met him, yes. I met him once when I was working on the alchemy shop that I mentioned earlier. He buys from there ingredients. I don't know much of magic, but I assume he buys things of a magical nature.
Is Cliff Ironcloud like a force of good in Navikapura? Do people like him?
I think mostly the Northerners think very highly of him, yes.
Interesting.
As I said, the Northerners don't take kindly to wealthy individuals coming up just to sort of buy land and attempt to accumulate power and wealth.
Yes, that sounds not fun.
I'm sure there are those who aren't particularly fond of what he does, but I would say on the whole he has a good reputation, yes.
You used to work for Broken Crown, you said?
Yes, in Uranshupa, just as a courier.
So did you ever work with Lieutenant Colonel Massive?
No, I did not, but I've heard the name before.
Sure.
In terms of bounties, we've heard of someone who may go by the nickname of Colossus.
That's not in Navikapura, I believe, if you're thinking of Mr. Vomalga.
Yes.
Yes, a hunter of some renown, but the Goliath tribes aren't inside of Navikapura. I believe they're a little further north or west. You'd have to go closer to the mountains.
Right. And the Uberti, as you say?
Yes, the Uberti family, very wealthy.
How long is the companionship duty that they usually require?
I'm not sure what you mean. They, it's a brothel, mostly. I'm not sure that there's a length of contract.
I see.
Anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes, perhaps, happen.
Great.
Shift out of bounty hunting.
Like, I could get used to this. I would say, along with the Ubertis, there are a couple other wealthy individuals, if that's what you're looking for.
Okay.
You said you're bounty hunters, you're looking for work from wealthy families, is that the idea?
Well, they often have the most lucrative bounties.
Yes, it's true. The others that I would say are Joe Migosto, Jomigosto. He's a medic, a surgeon, really. And then the other one is Lem Stonehand, Lem Stonehand.
Lem,
Lem Stonehand. He has a very high-end tavern that he runs. It's called Holo de Sefiod. And in Elven, that means sparkle and shine.
Oh, that's cute.
That's in Raketa.
We also, due to our work, we tried to locate the medics, the known medics in Novikapur. I think there's an Ainsley that we've heard of.
The only Ainsley that I know is not a medic, he's a healer.
Healer, sorry, yes. Where is he located?
Yes, he lives in Wickturn in the Vika Middle East.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
A good time to be one of the people who's got a map of Novikapur.
Taking intense bets.
In their head, not physically, because they are natives to the region. And as I said, Joe Migosto, who's a traveling surgeon medic. Right. I know that he is contracted out quite a bit by the Broken Crown because of his skill.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. I can't think of the chalk thing. It's killing me. I can't think of it. I can't think of when we found it.
Me neither.
I can't remember if it was the veggie pygmies or if it was in the carts with the people that we tried to help. I can't remember.
What did it do? Do you remember at all?
It survives water. It's water resistant. She said that she had seen it used in her homeland with soldiers fighting. It was a way to mark stuff.
This feels like the Community bit where Britta's trying to describe a drawbridge.
It
goes down.
Crocodile? No.
I can pretend like I know, but I don't.
I know exactly what it is, but I can't remember who had it.
Is he riding ahead?
Yeah, he's leading.
Is there someone who's closest to me that I can say something quietly to, perhaps?
I mean, if you back off a little, you're riding quick enough that if you
Okay.
just let back a little bit, a little space would go between you. Yeah. And there's the sound of the horses
Okay.
and stuff. You can quietly.
I'll quietly say something to both of them. Just, Uberti, do you recognize that name? I recognize that name. I can't remember where.
Oh goodness, I'm having trouble just remembering one simple specific level of a name.
I am only familiar with it because it is one of the names that Julian provided for me.
You're not confusing it with Berto from the camp?
I might be confusing with Berto.
Okay.
Uberto. We've cracked it.
But other than that, that's the only reference I have.
Maybe, I think you mentioned those names to us, perhaps.
We really just
Or
need
John
to
just remembered them.
sit down and look through our
I think
brains.
Beezaura had mentioned
I think,
the
yeah.
Uberti. So.
Seems like a tricky situation, though, if I end up wanting to see if I can get something from them. As much as I love a good love connection.
Wasn't sure where that was at.
Oh, you don't want to?
We'll see what happens, I guess.
Alright, you two.
Keeping the options open.
Let's try and remember. It might be nothing, but it might indicate that perhaps this cabin is being. I'm going to say this quietly now. Perhaps this cabin is being used by people more than just microl addicts. If the army is involved, or if people familiar with army tactics are involved.
Yes.
Who had the stupid chalk?
And while Orba racks
Yes,
her brain,
please. Here I go. Oh, no time.
No time.
we turn
I
back
wonder
to
if I was
Leopold's
blooded.
lodgings. It's getting just about close to 2:30. Graven, Safira sort of wait, sort of internally counting the minutes a little bit. You get the feeling that if you're going to meet them, that It's getting to be about that time. I will also say he didn't explicitly say this, but rather than have you go and come back, the assumption is you would not be able to bring weapons.
stuff,
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Or really armor, even.
no, definitely not armor. You could bring something in your pockets, hoping that they wouldn't check if that's the idea. But yes, the idea is weapons and armor is probably out of the question.
Also, he said it would take 2 low gentle void favors.
Not for you,
No,
but for
but
your
for Graven.
yes,
Just for me.
Yeah.
Because we have to get through one guard.
to get through the
and
gate
another.
to the other side, and then down into the actual arena itself. Yeah, one for each of those people.
Alright, Graven. I'm gonna kind of get the favors out and. Here we go.
Yeah. Thank you.
So decide what
So
you are
sad to
bringing,
mark
if
on
anything.
that.
Definitely decide that.
Now we only have 10 favors, guys. Favors.
Like 4 episodes ago, you had 3 favors.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't really have any. Caltrops wouldn't fit in a pocket. would
They fit in a little pouch.
a little pouch.
Yeah.
I want to save them. What am I gonna friggin' throw? Yeah.
That guy just threw caltrops into the middle of the box.
Giant Goliath just threw caltrops onto them.
I'm gonna get out of here.
You're gonna waste your favors and get thrown out.
Sort of rummaging through his
Graven,
satchel.
what are you looking for exactly?
No, I don't think it's anything's worth bringing.
I don't think we're gonna get away with it bringing anything.
I have my relic, but hopefully we're not fighting anybody out of the sporting type. All right.
Okay.
Take all my stuff off, leave my shield and my weapons.
Yup.
Ready? I'm
I'm
ready.
nervous. Okay.
Don't be. You handled that last fight.
So just to be clear, is the only thing you're bringing 2 favors? Are you bringing the pouch of favors? You bring 2?
No,
What-
I
just
just
the 2?
want to bring the 2.
Great.
Just to
You got it.
Yeah.
Serious.
Are you sure?
rolled up and
No.
stuck in my
It's
shirt.
like when you go to a
That's
casino and you just take $80 rather than your debit card, just so you don't get carried away.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't want to take my gold or anything. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No goal. Great. You guys start to move downstairs. And as you move downstairs, Donald is kind of falling asleep a little bit at his desk, but he hears you coming down a little bit. Oh, your friends left a little while ago.
Yeah, we know. They told us so.
Oh, alright. Have a good night.
I'm back.
He sort of goes back. You guys head outside.
Less talk, the better, man.
You follow this sort of indistinct gravel pathway that leads you around the back side of the lodgings. And it's only about another 100 feet from there that you see these 2 arched gateways, allowing passage between the civilian and the official sections of the garrison. One of the gates is much larger and it's currently shut. It looks like that one's kind of meant for bringing wagons or carriages through with supplies, but the gate has been closed on that one. And the other one's open, but it is guarded by 2 well-armed men. They have spears kind of at the ready, showing vigilance even at this late hour. And there's kind of lamps hanging in regular intervals, these smooth, well-maintained walls. And there's also the crunching of the gravel underfoot as you move. You can tell it would be a tall order for someone to sneak over without the assistance of Gentle Void. I mean, this is no cakewalk to break into some place like this. And you can only hope that the man that you spoke with, true to his word, will be there to see you inside. If you didn't already know, you could get a sense that these fight nights are very highly anticipated. You watch the guards at the gate, and you can see them kind of having a spirited discussion, as well as throwing kind of fake jabs and punches at each other. They seem to be talking up the fight a little bit, in good spirits. The stronghold looms large behind the wall. And it's hard to tell where the actual competition might be taking place in terms of the actual building. So you take a breath, and you step forward a little bit. Put your safety in the hands of the Gentle Void. So you are now standing, you haven't quite gotten to the gate yet. Are you walking up to it? Are you waiting? You guys are there.
I'm looking. I want to look for the guy that I recognize. I don't know his name.
Sure.
That's his name.
Give me an investigation check. You didn't get his name.
I'm gonna kind of take the 2 favors and roll them up individually and stick them in 2 different sides of mine.
Sure.
15.
15, great. You kind of get a little bit closer, and your crunching footsteps, you get sort of not so close that the guards would immediately sort of hear or notice you as they're kind of in their conversation. And you take a sort of more detailed peek at the archway, and it looks like, in addition to the 2 guys are kind of on either side of it, talking to each other, throwing the fake punches, you do see a figure kind of in the archway as far with his back against the wall that in the darkness it's very hard to see his face, and you see him kind of curled up in there. A little hand moving a little bit.
Kind of to Graven. I recognise that one. That's the guy that pulled me aside. So
I remember him.
maybe we should step up.
Alright. You're still Sarah, right?
Yeah, and
Okay.
You are.
The Mycera.
Jeff.
Oh my goodness, no.
What?
Okay.
Sarah and Jeff. Go on.
Sarah and Jeff on an adventure together tonight.
Wow.
Let's go.
You step forward. And wearing mostly the same attire, but now with a kind of cloak that's draped over his shoulders, you see the man appear. He sort of comes off the wall a little bit as you approach. And he walks over to the two guards, kind of stands between them. And they're having kind of a friendly back and forth, quiet little conversation. He sees you guys coming. And you approach. And you can see as you guys are coming up that he reaches kind of into a pocket, puts a hand on the shoulder of one of the men, and gives him a little handshake. And there's a little piece of parchment or something in his hand, and the other guy kind of takes it, puts it into his pocket. Here's my challenger now. I'm telling you, boys, if there was ever a time to bet against the Chimera, it would be tonight. And you see the men sort of smiling and looking you guys over as you're approaching. Goliath versus Goliath, I like it. Very primal, they fight with a lot of pride. Looks like he's been through a few good scrapes. You're gonna need a good chin. Stay on your feet. No, it's her, actually.
I'm gonna kind of give him like a...
Oh, well, good luck.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Hey,
This is my friend Jeff. Don't mind letting him
Jeff, and you are
in. Sarah.
Sarah. You might be surprised, boys. She took down one of Joella's boys like it was nothing. Well, if there's anyone who knows how to pick 'em, it's you, Roa. And you hear his name for the first time, Roa. R-O-A, Roa. I wish I wasn't on duty tonight so I could watch. And you see the other guard kind of step forward who hasn't sort of spoken yet. He kind of looks a little bit, and he had watched that kind of handshake transition take place. And he comes forward. Was her friend hoping to come along? Because I'm not entirely sure that we could allow that. New rules and all that. And Roa kind of looks to you guys.
Just wordlessly, take it out. It's still rolled out and hand it over to him.
He takes it. And it looks like he kind of looks around, puts it by his hip, and kind of takes a look at it. I was told you were coming. Yeah.
Jeff. Everyone knows Jeff.
Stop.
We'll listen for the victory tales of Sarah in the ring against the Chimera. Come on, man. Let's take a walk. You guys walk through the gate and they let you pass, no problem. And you guys are led through this gate, sort of toward the Garrison stronghold. It looks even larger now than it did from the other side. And one thing that you couldn't see from the sort of civilian side was this sizable yard between the outer walls and the main building. And with a few watchtowers spaced around the perimeter and there's nothing to duck behind, you could tell it would make for kind of a clever added safety measure, that if someone was trying to sneak across, there's a good gap that you have to sort of make before, so if you were trying to run away or run in, it would be very difficult to do so without being seen.
Do we have kind of a minute here before we get...
Yeah, there's a little bit of time. Roa's sort of taking his time, kind of guiding you. It looks like he's kind of headed to the far side of the building. He doesn't immediately break for the closest part of the building. And in the distance, you can see a couple other people, presumably Gentle Void, and they're entering through a doorway. They kind of come up to a guy, they say something to him, and they enter in through the door. But that's a couple 100 feet off. And they don't have any armor on, or they kind of have excitement on their face. You think you might have an idea of where they're headed. Now the fights will have already started by the time we get there. Whenever you bring in outsiders, it's best for things to be in full swing. Avoid any questions.
Makes sense.
The man organizing the event's name is Jurin, and he knows that I'm bringing a challenger. I had someone lined up before you, and I changed my mind when I saw you fight.
Oh, was it Joella? Or...
No, it wasn't. It was a boy from out of town that I know. We can take a seat near the back, and we're going to wait for them to announce the Chimera fight before we head down to the ring. You can be in the corner with me, but it's fairly obvious that you're a tourist. So just do me a favor. As we walk, make a show of giving her some advice. Massage her shoulders, some shit like that. You just make it look like you've been training her. You're not some random person that we let in, yeah?
Right. Now, as her sponsor, as it were, would the Chimera have anything like you in his corner?
The prisoners don't really have something like that. Normally, the fights are all prisoner versus prisoner. It's only when one of them racks up enough victories that we start to look for outside competitors.
Right.
He'll be fighting alone, is what I'm saying.
Seems hardly fair.
Well, he seems to handle himself fine. I don't know that he needs one.
Alright.
I don't have much advice for you. He's good. Stay on your toes. He's got a fearsome overhand that he'll try and chain together with a lighter attack. He's not young, but he moves pretty well. If you can drag the fight out longer, you might tire him enough that he won't be able to dance around as much. That's all I got for you.
Okay.
It's pretty similar to your friend here in terms of size, build. Got a neck thick like a barrel, though.
Brilliant.
Jesus.
Seen any scars on him like this? And I'm gonna pull back up.
He's got a bit of scarring, but it's covered up mostly by tattoos, so it's hard to tell. There's a lot of tattoos along his body.
Right.
Might be able to get a better look when you're there. I will say also, take this time to come up with a name. Nobody uses their real names.
What do you mean? I've got to have a ridiculous name like the I mean...
It could be whatever you want. Something that means something to you, something strikes fear into your opponents.
Something lupine or bearish.
Well, I have to do my own branding now. You're supposed to be coach.
Oh my god.
She-wolf, something like that.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's great. That's me. I'm the she-wolf. You know, be afraid.
We'll leave it.
Exciting! I want to think of a cool name.
Includes labels.
Who might announce them?
Well, like I said, Jurin, who's
Jurin.
running the event.
Right.
There's also another man who goes by Molvark, who sometimes is the referee. So he might be saying it. I'll let him know that we've got the She-Wolf in the building.
Okay.
Anything else before we get close? Now's the time to ask.
Prisoners are kept under pretty strict. Are they shackled when they're not in the ring?
Yeah, there's a door that opens up in the ring that leads a little hallway down to the cell block. So it doesn't open until their fight starts. So they're kept in there. They come out one at a time.
So they're pretty much held solitary, except for when they're fighting.
Well, the prison blocks are not solitary confinement, but separate from the event, if that's what you mean. They don't get to enjoy the festivities, if that's what you were implying.
Guess not.
As soon as the fight ends, they go back down the tunnel, back to the cells.
How long has he been here?
I don't know. I don't work the prisons. Certainly been here long enough for me to see a number of his fights. Years, I would guess, but I don't know how many. There's going to be a number of people there who work the prison, who are off duty. If you've got a few more of those papers, you could always ask them.
Right.
Not my business, though. Shall we?
Yeah.
He starts to lean forward a little bit. You approach this door that you've seen these other people kind of disappear into. And already you can start to hear faint rumblings of excitement from down below. What sounds like a name being called out is followed by a round of cheers. But the guard at the entrance kind of maintains an air of professionalism, sort of holds his chin up high, seeing people in and out of this gate. It's an elven man, he's got a sharp chin, bit bushy eyebrows, and he kind of gives a look of recognition to Roa, who's escorting you. But he immediately follows up with a very disapproving scowl as he senses the presence of two people that he clearly doesn't recognize. And before you get within earshot of this man, you see Roa kind of lean in close to you. Ah, shit. It's Castor working the door tonight. I hope you brought an extra favor or a silver tongue, because you never know when he's going to be a twat about bringing guests in. Castor! And he takes a step forward, kind of with a big smile. Just the man I was hoping to see.
Oh, golly.
I doubt that, Roa. Why would that be? Nobody guards the door as diligently as you do. And he kind of looks to the other two. Jurin said you'd be bringing someone who was cleared ahead of time, but I see two someones.
Sorry.
Stretching the rules tonight, are we?
No, that's actually my fault. Sorry, what was your name? It's nice to meet you. I'm Sarah.
Castor.
Hi, Castor. This is my coach. His name is Jeff. I wouldn't have brought him otherwise, but frankly, I wouldn't otherwise admit this. I'm a bit nervous, so I want to have someone in my corner, if you wouldn't mind.
And Roa kind of watches this interaction take place. Make a persuasion check.
That's hardly feminine wiles.
Graven gives him
Oh no, I have no feminine wiles.
Always
What
bring an
check did you want me to
extra.
make?
Persuasion.
Persuasion? Yeah, okay, well it's a 6, so.
Always bring extra backup.
You see, Castor, they're one, is what she's trying to say. Trainer and trainee. And they've got the papers to prove it. Right?
Yeah, we do. Jeff.
And he sort of snatches it out of your hand. One paper, two strangers.
Right, well I thought I was expected.
You are.
Okay, so then it's only...
And he sort of...
Safe to say that if we make it inside, people will make a lot of gold off of tonight.
That confident in your friend, are you? Make a persuasion check.
Okay. 19.
Oh!
What are you offering me?
You make enough here to put down a bet, don't you?
Oh, I'm putting up my own money, am I?
Oh gosh.
And Roa kind of watches you. Sort of,
I haven't any money on me.
we were set to split 50-50, the winnings, yeah?
Yeah.
Why don't we offer him...
Sure, yeah.
15%.
25.
Oof.
18.
Make a persuasion.
We just stay out the door.
This is like
Storage wars over
Purposely didn't bring jack shit with us. Persuasion.
Hopefully we get it.
That's a natural 20.
No.
Oh.
Yay!
missed the boat, but didn't miss the journey.
And he looks at the favor kind of once more. Folds it. And he grabs the door handle. And he kind of makes a little sort of show of sliding the door open like he's doing you a favor, kind of...
Alright, Vanna.
Sure.
Yeah.
Vanna White over here.
I'll give him a little
Drama.
wish us luck.
And he looks at you, and then looks at Safira. Good luck.
Cheers, mate.
And allows you to pass. And as he slides the door open, there's an eruption of shouts and hollers kind of ringing out through this hallway.
Coliseum.
And it seems like one of the lead-in fights has already kind of come to an end. You hear a mixture of cheers and boos, and there's one particularly loud gentleman who's repeating over and over, I told you, I fucking told you, like over and over and over again, to a chorus of boos kind of ringing out around. And Roa leads the way, and there's a ramp with a kind of easy incline that spirals down until you reach a barred iron gate. And there's a woman on the other side in the same attire that Castor was wearing, sort of full armor, and she has a weapon with her. But she allows you in immediately. She takes the key from her belt, she sees her, and she kind of opens the gate. And you get the impression, just based on her sort of demeanor towards you versus Castor, that she's really here for possibly locking the place down if someone was trying to get out, not preventing people from getting in. So she opens it up, you guys pass through. She gives Roa a nice smile and smiles back at her, and she shows the gate behind her.
I'm so excited.
You enter into this large enclosure that has a very kind of gladiatorial feel to it, though certainly a discounted one. There's wooden scaffolding that's lifting the perimeter up, so there's this kind of recessed central area reserved for the fighting. And there's a few strategically placed beams that are holding up pulleys, and there's a big weighted net up at the top of the ceiling that looks like in an emergency they could drop the net down on them. Because the prisoners, they let them out, they unshackle them to fight, so they have this kind of net security measure.
Oh my god.
There's wooden benches and stools aplenty all throughout the place, but most of the mob is on their feet. They're kind of all crowded, bunched in a little bit towards the railing that's separating the exterior from the ring. They're laughing, they're kind of giving their 2 cents on how they would have handled the fight. It's poorly lit, and there's an inescapable mixed aroma of ale and tobacco. And you notice that they've made no effort to soften the floor in the fighting pit with something like sand or dirt. It is stone underfoot. And those that have fallen less gracefully on a knockdown appear to have left some blood-stained patches on the floor, only further emphasizes the kind of brutal nature of the affair.
Yeah.
And Roa kind of comes in, he's got you two following behind him. Why don't you go on somewhere in the back, find a seat, and I'm going to let Jurin know that we're here. Don't go anywhere, and don't try to talk to anyone, okay?
Okay.
The fewer questions, the better, especially for this gentleman here. I'm going to top off my mug as well. Are you a drink before or after the fight kind of girl?
We'll have one after.
All right.
I was shocked by that answer.
Responsible.
He's
Since I'm not getting one for her?
I'll have one for both of us.
I'd like to keep my wits about me.
Good
And he goes off a little bit. So you guys have a moment here. You sort of like, you're clearly the strangers in this environment, kind of standing near the back a little bit as the sort of action's taking place. There isn't a fight currently taking place. It seemed like one had just ended. So you guys are sort of here as the atmosphere is kind of swirling around you.
Featured fighter. You're gonna be fine.
Christ, who's that?
No, I didn't. Not yet.
We-
It happened. I tried to end it as it was coming out of my mouth, but it's still
Christ, Chris.
Jiminy Christmas is who it is. It also
Christ.
doesn't exist in this universe.
So you guys have a moment.
Christ, who's that?
I don't know how we're gonna be able to get to talk to him at all.
I don't know.
It's probably gonna
I
be me
mean,
trying
honestly,
to get...
the only information that we may get is, and I'm trying to say this like under my breath.
Yeah, you could talk to him quietly pretty
Yeah.
easily. There's a lot of noise in here.
The only information we may get is just, what he looks like. I mean, underneath the tattoos, if I can get up close to him, I can maybe see if he's got,
I'm
scarring.
gonna try to talk to some guards, but I don't have anything to offer. Maybe I could set up a meeting for tomorrow to get more information from somebody.
I would say we should keep up the, when I'm in there, shout some stuff to me.
Yes,
I don't know.
I will be ringside. I'm not going anywhere. but
Right. Yeah.
There are other chances to talk to people, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully they don't have to throw down that net. Safira's just kind of looking at it like...
Fail safe, I'm sure.
So you guys like finding a seat, a bench somewhere? You guys kind of...
Yeah, so we're still kind of on the outskirts.
Yeah, there's this whole scaffolding area and then the recess pit in the middle, and there's benches and stools everywhere. There's people sitting, but most of the people are kind of crowded over the railing, kind of looking down into the pit at the moment. So,
Yeah, you just hold back and find a seat for
okay. Find a seat kind of inconspicuously. And as you guys are finding a seat, you do hear someone shouting. You hear kind of a shh, and a man in the middle kind of comes out, and he holds his hands up. We are bringing out the next fighters. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dream Eater and the Son of Serpents. And you hear kind of a...
Oh my god!
And it looks like there's another guard in the pit who lifts up this heavy iron bar. And this big door kind of rotates open, and you can see there's this long hallway, as Roa described, that looks like it might lead to the cells. So the prisoners are kind of led through this hallway. So he turns the door, and people start to come forth. And you can already hear people cheering, a little chanting, a little hollering. And the first person that comes through is this kind of bulky human woman. She has very long hair that's been braided back, but it almost reaches her knees, like the backs of her knees.
Her knees.
And the detail you most readily notice is that she has entirely black tattooed hands, stopping just below the wrist. She comes out and she kind of does a lap around the ring. She kind of pumps up the crowd a little bit. You see her kind of throwing a couple punches. And the next one out of the tunnel is a tall, muscular, but seemingly almost like malnourished man. His skin sticks tight to his ribs, and there's quite a bit of tattooing along his arms that looks like it has like a scale design, like snake scales or something like that. And there's a copper rod piercing in his left ear, and as he reaches the center of the arena, he opens his mouth, and his tongue is split down the middle, and he kind of shows it out to the crowd.
Like
You see the
that,
tattooing.
Jester.
And you see a number of the people around the edge kind of kind of rattling the thing a little bit. And hissing
He has his
as
own
the
little
man
snake
comes.
pit.
Get out of here.
So
All
they
his
both
fans.
came out the idea that they're both prisoners.
Yeah, they
came out
did them one at a
different.
time. So they let her, like, they unhooked her. She came out, pumped up, and they unhooked the other guy, and then he came out and did a little thing. So yeah, the two of them are kind of swirling about in the middle there. And there's a moment where it looks like the man who kind of announced their arrival, he comes in, he motions to the both of them. You can't hear it, but it sounds like he's just going over the basics. You see him sort of motioning to below the belt, and he's going over the rules with these two. And you may notice that there are kind of a few Gentle Void onlookers who do, as they're kind of cheering, looking around, they do kind of notice Graven just because he sticks out so much, and you see one guy kind of nudge and kind of... So you see that some people are sort of keeping an eye on
The
him
only
in general.
Goliath. in
Yes,
the-
yes,
okay.
definitely, yeah. There's a pretty decent
As
mix of the
always.
usual races, tieflings, mostly humans, some elves, and yes, but there are, as far as you can tell, there are no other Goliaths here. So he reads over the rules, or recites the rules to them, and you see them, he kind of pushes one to one side, one to the other side. All right, everyone! And sort of gets the fight ready. You can see people starting to cheer. Which of my people who are not here would like to play the Dream Eater?
Ah! You get to play!
Yeah, go
Is
ahead.
it the braid?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to rename yourself?
I would love to do that.
And we have the Son of Serpents over
Oh
here.
my god.
Awesome.
Here is your...
Is Son of Serpents a guy?
Yes, a male. Yep.
And she loses, she's donating her hair.
Oh my god.
Oh, so both of your points are going to be public information.
Yes, and it's gonna be an even fight. Your hit die is gonna be a D10 for both of you as your
Sick.
and you're not gonna have any edge cards. It's just a straight up fight. Actually, as we get this ready, we're close. That is where we're gonna take our break real quick because we'll get everything set up ready to go, and then we'll come back. So we're gonna.
That's fine. That's
Graven
fine.
and
I'll take
Safira will
that.
get a chance to view how the fights take place here with the Son of Serpents and the Dream Eater, and we'll pick it up there in the arena.
Secretly
I'm so
a Beezaura against Erland
I'm
fight.
so nervous.
Got it. You're the
All
she-wolf.
those times.
Oh my
Two
God.
shots to the head.
That's where we'll pick it up. Jordan.
Night Munch resubbed. Thank you so
Hey.
much. We love you. We love you. If I missed anybody, I apologize. I think that was the only one I needed to announce. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll pick it right back up right
As
after the break.
always, There's 5 minutes into the Be Right Back video. There's the recap of last episode, also featuring voice acting.
It's a special recap that has extra flair to it.
Sure, Flair.
very cute.
Bonus
So
features.
if you missed last week's episode, it will be there.
All right. We'll see you guys on the other side. We'll see you then.
Yes.
What is the charm?
Chapter 65, A Night of Knuckles, our friends accept Joella's challenge to a fist fight face-off.
Best of 5 in total. I fight when one team has 2 victories. So one way or the other, I fight. If we lose, I tuck my tail between my legs and I take the long, dark road back to Hackett. Let's start it then. Tundor! And he sort of comes forward and takes a couple steps forward.
And the showdown begins. Graven enters the ring, and Orba finds the bookie.
What are people putting down? Like a couple gold?
Yeah, if you put it, how much you want to put in, I'll tell you the return.
4 gold.
4 gold, you'll get 6 back if he wins.
I'm gonna do it.
All right.
Graven versus Tundor.
Goes for 2 heavies, 1 body, 1 head.
Oh, shit. Okay.
With
2 head strikes.
2 head strikes, he counters as well, so Graven was
Thank God. Okay.
So
Next on the ticket is Safira.
well played, well played.
And then what about this fight? What's the odds?
Oh, I think most people think Erosen's gonna win.
Oh, well, okay, what if I put 5 gold on
5
Safira?
gold, you'll get 15 back.
Oh, I'm gonna do that!
Safira versus Erosen.
Okay, I countered. So
Counter?
Okay, I did footwork.
Negates both of them. Ducks underneath both of them.
How do you
And he's
know?
kind of coming up.
Nice.
Erland is next to go, and on the verge of defeat, Joella enters the ring ready to secure a win.
What are the odds?
Well, it's a 5-to-1 payout for Joella.
I give you 10 gold.
All right, 50 coming back if you win.
Erland versus Joella.
She's gonna use a head jab and then a special uppercut that she has available to her.
Body heavy.
She counters the body heavy. So the head jab hits him to the chest with a little strike. And Erland kind of crumbles to the ground a little bit. And Joella holds her hands up and
You help him off the ground. Give him 10 gold.
Beezaura begrudgingly fights next.
Okay, I lost a little bit of money on that last one. What if I give you 5 gold?
you'll get 10 back for 5.
Okay, let's do it.
Beezy versus Silmuva.
Both hit, goes for the counter.
2 head jabs.
She goes duck and weave. And Beezaura kind of comes up and is moving out of the way, clips her with the other, and she... Looks like I'm the only fighter here worth a damn.
All in good fun, I suppose. But you are still a thief, so be on your way.
All right, fair play. You won't see me for a while, I suppose. Good fight, then.
With the crowd dispersing, Safira is approached by a stranger who wants to sign her up for a fight night at the Garrison against an unstoppable prisoner.
And normally, the prisoners fight each other, but they've let in outside challengers. The betting against him has gotten mouth-watering.
And this prisoner, this brute that I'm supposed to be going up against, do you have any information about him?
He's big,
Okay.
mountain-born. They don't give us names, but he calls himself the Chimera.
When's this fight?
Tonight,
Oh God.
around 3 in the morning. 2:30, I'll be there. And if you are, so be it.
Alright, cheers.
Safira agrees to think on it and returns to her companions.
So remember that we heard about the fights that are happening in the prison.
Yes.
I just got invited.
Just for money?
Now this is this is the kicker. His name, he says he's mountain born, so he's, Goliath, giant's blood, something, and his name is the Chimera.
Have you been tracking not a literal beast, but a person?
We take out the tooth again. I don't think so.
But would we hit ourselves if we left Leopold's garrison without going to see this
Maybe.
guy?
Oh, I would like to go and see this person. I was hoping that you would bring me.
Perhaps he has, perhaps he's seen the Chimera, perhaps he's fought the Chimera, perhaps he's
Has some
defeated the
connection.
Perhaps
Chimera.
he's fought other chimeras.
Maybe we stop using the word over and over.
That's probably a good idea.
Graven and Safira sort of resting. Like an hour has passed at this point as you guys sort of contemplate what might be upcoming. And that's where we're going to end for the evening. As we wait to see...
Will Safira take down the championed Chimera? Can Graven find an opportunity to speak with the prisoner? Has pugilism become our friends' favorite way to settle their differences? Find out next time on Tabletop Notch.
Mad at this.
All right, we are coming back for the main event live. Tabletop Notch.
Live from the
Son of
studio.
Serpents versus Dream Eater.
We have to bring
in
back my
the
ring girl.
prison underneath Leopold's Garrison. And as they sort of get ready in the ring, and the man in the center sort of holds them back a little bit, Graven and Safira, you guys now, as everyone's sort of pushing forward, you can stand up a little bit, get kind of a better view of what's going on in the center. Roa hasn't yet returned with his ale yet, so two of you are standing there. And the man sort of signals to both. They clash. Let's begin. So,
my God.
we're going to first roll for composure. You're both going to roll a d10 with advantage.
I never roll d10s.
I know, I can never find
I
it.
know.
Erland has no d10 thing.
That's not true.
No, I don't think he does. Where is it?
Add 2, and then 15 after that. So add 17 to your roll, whatever your roll is.
Oh.
27.
27,
Wow. So what is it? 15?
17. 17 plus that.
22.
Total?
Why are you so
I rolled a 5.
Okay.
Terrible.
Plus 17? Yeah.
Alright, we got 22 versus 27.
All right. The two of them go in a little bit. They
Ding, ding,
size
ding,
each
ding.
other up. Go ahead. Sorry, initiative also. We'll just do a straight d20 roll for initiative. Reroll on a tie.
13.
13.
Reroll them. They sort of size each other up and then step forward back again.
10.
18.
Okay, we're gonna have the Dream Eater will be attacking first.
And we don't, so, okay, so the answer was no, we don't know anything about it.
No, you just see the fighter across from you, and that's it.
And we don't know anything about ourselves, I guess.
No, you just fight.
This is stupid. I'm like,
It's purely for the.
I'm like in it
no
to
Some of the
win.
cheering is sort of building up. There's a certain dedicated section, sort of on the railings for the Son of Serpents.
You gotta howl. Get into the ring and go, oh!
I gotta pick a defense too, right?
Yep, you pick a defense, and don't flip them over.
Sorry.
Down. That's good. We're gonna time each of
I need
these
to get my head.
rounds.
I need to get my head in the game here.
Oh,
All right.
brother.
Exclamation point! Pugilism?
Oh,
Or is
yeah.
it homebrew or whatever it is.
Here we go.
Pugilism.
I love that the Son of Serpents has a fan base.
Oh yeah, he's got a dedicated little crew there.
See ya, Skittles.
Okay.
All right, guys.
The Son of Serpents is ready.
All right. Dream Eater comes in. What does she come in with?
Coming in hard with a body strike and a head heavy.
Oh.
Negate all head attacks.
Darn it.
Okay, so the body one goes through. So how much goes to him? How much?
4.
4.
And I lose 3.
Great. So one blocked, one comes in, and then he comes right back with.
A body strike and a head heavy.
I protect all body.
Okay, so the head heavy hits. So that's
Eight.
8 to the Dream Eater,
And I go down 3.
and 3 fatigue for the Son of Serpents.
Okay.
Couple quick flurry of blows and a little. Oh!
Now it's a tight 15 to 16.
Oh!
Baby.
All right, once again.
The head protect.
Classic.
Graven looks to some stranger and he's like, "It's a good one."
Always protect your head.
Oh my gosh.
Can't go wrong.
We got the 1 minute timer here for choosing.
That's some real boxing advice. Always protect your head. Always protect your
It's out of
head.
order.
Unless it looks like they're gonna jab you.
Straight to the body.
Yeah. Getting close here, guys.
Yep.
My
Yep, we're good.
goodness.
We're good, baby. We're good.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Still gotta pick that defense. Put him down.
I see no cards down over there on that side.
What happens
Go
if
ahead
you
and
run
grab
out of time? Do you get hit in the face?
Just give me one
I make
sec.
this sound. Gotta pick one.
Okay.
Gotta throw a random one out there. If you're not, it's not you, Leah. All right. Dream Eater comes in once again. Her braid kind of whipping around as she comes in. What does she hit with?
2 head strikes.
2 head strikes. I did counter.
Ooh, they both come in.
Bomb.
As the Son of Serpents kind of is expecting a bigger strike, it doesn't come. Gets hit with both.
10 for
That's
him.
10
damage?
to the Son of Serpents.
And 2
And
for
2
me.
fatigue.
Okay, thank you.
This is fucking wild, Leah. 2 head strikes.
Wow.
I did a counter.
Oh, also 10.
So once again, sort of bracing herself, and quickly the serpent kind of with 2 quick head strikes.
10 for her.
Yep, and then 2 back
And
to
then
the
2 for-
to fatigue.
Alright, I
Wow.
close 3 and 4.
All right, next one. I'm flipping the timer.
I'm on 3.
You're on
Yeah.
I'm flipping the timer.
Balls to the walls.
Balls
Boys and
to
girls.
the...
Balls to the walls indeed.
That's what I like.
nice.
That's what
Yeah.
I like. Even quicker. Even quicker. Boom, boom, boom.
You're an intuitive player.
There's sort of a
Leah.
quick flurry of all those head strikes, one to the face, another to the face. Everyone's
damn.
oh. A little bit
back
of
and forth, just beating.
a little bit of the blood spits out onto the smooth stone floor.
The best
The
defense
worst.
is a constant offense.
Yes.
That's not.
I think
the
I
best
grew up.
All right, almost there, almost there.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Dream Eater coming back. Sort of a
Alright.
flurry with her
we
black
go.
tattooed hands.
One body jab, one head jab.
Shit, I did footwork.
They both did. How much is it? 3?
3.
He goes down. 2 quick jabs. And the servant
takes
goes,
a break.
and the hissing kind of.
Yeah.
And those are free, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Flesh
Son
on
of Serpents
stone.
rolls again without advantage this time. D10 plus 17.
The slapping of flesh on stone.
Yeah, you hear the
Yeah.
as he hits the
I
ground.
forgot it was at a 3.
Plus 17?
Yeah, plus
20.
20.
Dog shit.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Ooh.
And now you are swapping, so the Son of Serpents is striking first this
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
Gets back up, a little cheering coming
Yeah,
out.
nothing like getting knocked down and then immediately concussed from the ground that you fall on.
Biting off one tip of your forked tongue. And
Oh,
you
then
just
it's
look like an
uneven.
idiot.
Then,
Yeah, then you look like an
one
idiot.
side.
Actually, sorry, one sec. She's at 4.
She is at 4.
Then you look like an idiot. That's funny.
Get him. Oh, don't pick that back up.
A little coaching.
Getting close here, getting close.
Well, I just think.
Figure
We're
it
getting
out.
close here.
Come on, tools.
I just think.
Getting close, don't think. Just
Oh,
Don't think.
never mind. I like that.
What was that?
Okay, I'm sorry.
roll down.
I already threw it down. I'm just looking.
all right.
Okay, so I'm first here.
Yep.
Yep.
Serpent comes up.
Head jab, body jab.
Negate all jabs.
Oh!
That's what I was looking for. Where is that one?
Blocks both. It's the general defense,
General
which
defense,
blocks
that's
both
what I
jabs.
So you
So she
spent
bats
nothing,
away
she
the
got
2
nothing.
jabs,
So
and
it's
then
0
come
with me.
Yep.
And I come in with 2 head jabs.
I did duck and weave.
How much you take?
4, I think.
And that costs 1 for me.
Oh, jeez.
The duck and weave
Cost
costs
of
1.
5, so it's 15.
All right. Tries to duck, but the Dream Eater comes out. 2 quick jabs.
Serpent's sucking on it today.
Opens up his forked tongue, and there's blood kind of pouring out the front of his mouth there.
Poor buddy.
Yo, all he wanted was like an extra pillow on his bed, and he's getting the shit kicked out of him.
Just gotta fight for it.
Damn.
Rough.
How do you think
All
she
right.
does that braid?
Son of Serpents comes in once more.
2 head strikes.
2 head strikes. Head defense.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And what does she come back with? She laughs like that in the arena, and everyone's like,
power. So that takes me down 2, Jordan.
Yeah, whatever.
what does she come back with?
Wait, that takes you down too?
I takes me down 2 for head strikes.
2 head strikes.
Oh,
Yeah.
strikes.
2 fatigues.
I come in with a body strike and a head jab.
Body strike, head jab.
I negate 1 non-heavy attack of my choice.
Strike, head. So the body strike.
The body strike goes
more,
away.
yeah.
Head jab I take.
Great.
So you take 2, I take 1.
Great.
Okay, so it's
So this time he takes a sort of general approach, blocks 1, gets it with the other.
It's 11 to 3.
Alright.
With 1 knockout on Son of Serpent.
She's vicious.
She's sort of cackling
Yeah.
in the.
You should take -6.
She did body strike, right? Didn't she? Or no? But if she does a body strike, doesn't she still take the exhaustion from it?
she
I
did, she
said
did.
that.
Oh, I
I was honest.
I'm sorry. I thought you
Leave me
were.
alone.
I was blaming Jordan, not you. You're right.
Don't kill me. I'm just a fucking ring girl, man. Cut me some fucking slack.
Circle each other once more.
Oh, yeah, she's in your head now. She's in
She
your head,
is,
dude.
guys.
At one point, the Son of Serpent steps and kind of slides a little bit on his own blood that's on the floor there.
Oh, gross, yeah.
And I can't exhaust myself, right?
You cannot exhaust yourself into a knockdown.
He can take
Swing
it.
at the rafters. He can also
Close, yeah,
counter.
we're close.
He can counter and throw it back.
Yeah,
That's true.
But whatever, just throw whatever. Go.
we're close.
Yeah, clearly you've been doing great up till this point.
This is dog. I'm so
Pick
bad.
those attacks.
so
Pick
bad.
those attacks, Leah. You gotta put that one down.
Sorry. Sorry.
Throw them out. It's gotta be that one.
There it goes.
It's too late. Yep, there we go. Son of Serpents comes back in.
Head jab, body jab.
Head jab, body jab. Counter, so... and
I
finally...
lost.
Finally.
How much is that?
Goes down.
That takes her down 3 and does 0.
Okay, so she's
Alright, she's down. So finally a little more excitement as they sort of feel the sort of evening of the odds a bit.
D10.
A D10 plus 17.
27.
She got a perfect
She comes back up and she's kind of like...
Alright, here it comes.
Oh no.
Throws her braid off her
11
shoulder.
Yeah.
to 27.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Hey, big swings can happen in this
Boys,
game.
Yeah, oh
Big
yeah.
swings.
Big swings.
Come on, swinger.
This is accurate of the chatter happening amongst the gentle void. They're like, big swings can happen anytime. It could swing around.
Or just the general, you suck at this game. You suck.
Okay.
All right, now you're first. Once again, Dream Eater first comes up.
I do a body heavy head jab.
Oh, shit. Let me get all head attacks.
Okay, so the heavy hits. How much?
6 and 2.
6 and 2.
5 to 25.
Smacks away the jab, but then comes in with the heavy attack.
Alright, 2 heavies. Head, body, heavy.
Negate 1 non-heavy attack.
They both hit! And after getting smacked, the Son of
down to
Serpents
1 now.
comes.
Okay.
But that takes her down 14.
Whoa. He's at 1.
Yep, he's at 1.
So you're at 11? Am I doing math right?
Yes.
14.
And those 2 strikes land, and immediately sort of a wave of like, oh!
Shit.
Nearly skinned him.
Yeah, we got it. That was good. That was good.
Finish him off.
I thought you were playing a washboard.
The band.
Someone's like, shut that guy up!
Playing the jug in the washboard.
It's getting close, guys. Alright, Dream Eater coming in first.
Go.
Oh, me again?
Yep, you strike first.
Head jab, body strike.
Hold negate both!
Oh!
Duck and weave!
Where'd it go? And that's
1.
She spent 1.
10. Okay.
no, and the body strike.
Head jab, body strike?
Yeah,
Body
there's only
strike.
1.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sorry. And
Yeah.
he does 1, but he's already out 1.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yep.
Body heavy, head heavy.
Head protect.
So
the
body heavy hits for 6.
Yep, and
Whoosh,
he
down to
doesn't.
4.
Yep, and he does not lose fatigue because he's already at 1. So sort of moving around, gets 1 strike and then ducks back quickly, hands in the air, protecting his face.
Safira, this fight's going long.
Safira's watching it like.
Wait, oh, you can't exhaust.
Yeah, you can't exhaust yourself into a knockdown.
This is.
You do still have first strike.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, you stay first strike until someone gets knocked down, so that's when it swaps. So you still have first strike.
All you gotta get in is 1.
Holy, I just gotta get 1 hit.
Hockey lover just joined, so no
Oh
pressure.
gosh.
Don't overthink. Don't
Do your
overthink.
thing. Just do
Think
that.
as much as you're thinking. Think half of that.
Okay, great. That's good advice, coach.
Use less half less brain.
Half less
Graven's
brain.
standing
Half
in the
less
corner.
brain. He's just shouting in the corner. Half less brain.
I just do?
Too much brain. Lose that brain. Lose it.
Gotta move it along here.
Lose the brain. Put it
Gotta
down.
put that one down, and now you gotta
Okay.
fix it.
I'm shaking. I'm more nervous than actual combat. There are no stakes. There are no stakes.
None.
Gotta throw defense out there.
Okay.
Alright. She comes in, sort of breathing hard a little bit. And the Dream Eater comes at him with.
A body strike and a body jab.
God damn it! Duck and weave.
King Candy.
And the Son of Serpent spits up a little bit of blood and falls to the floor. And they're. Oh! And all of the serpent fans there on the railing kind of.
Good fight, though. Good fight.
A very good fight. There's a lot of clapping as they kind of pick themselves up. And the Son of Serpent and the Dream Eater kind of go over to each other and
Oh, come on.
I do nothing but this.
Do we see money changing hands around?
It seems like that's not immediately here. It seems like the betting is done elsewhere. You do not immediately see money change. There isn't like an immediate like, oh, I gotta pay you for that.
So there's nobody who's like sitting like giving. Yeah.
There might be someone working the books somewhere, but it isn't here, right here at the arena.
While we're winding down, Somber just gifted 5 subs.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
So 5 subs for the Dream
Yeah, 5
Eater.
subs for the Dream Eater.
A very well fought fight. A very close comeback. That was
That was
very
scary.
close.
I was nervous. For
The
my
duck and weave.
That we had no stakes in that fight. That was like the best fight ever.
Yeah.
We didn't give a shit.
Right? That's what happens.
Maybe you
just
gave a
gotta,
shit,
gotta
but-
live on the edge.
Oh, I give shit.
There's a moment where they're sort of led back out through the tunnel that's sort of opened up there, and the man that's sort of working the ring comes out once again. All right, everyone.
I feel like real invigorated.
We know that you've all been waiting to see if there's anyone at all, who can topple the Chimera. And as he says it,
The
there's a
actual
little
thing.
buzz kind of about the arena. Well, one of our very own, Mr. Roa Vickett. He's got the answer, he thinks. And at that, there's a lot of like, people sort of brushing him off. And he's sort of returned to you just at this point. He's sort of drinking an ale. He bumps into you guys just to give you a nod. What do we all think about that? And they all, again, kind of a chorus. Some cheering, a little bit of booing. Well, we'll just have to wait and find out. Please, welcome to the floor first, the challenger, She-Wolf! And he points up where Roa's sort of standing, and he's motioning down. He's sort of clearing the way a little bit for you to walk down towards the
And
arena.
Safira, deciding that she absolutely can't make a performance out of this, is just gonna walk to the ring.
Does the cool, no care
She's
walk
just
as she
trying
moves down.
Actually, the only performance I would say that is she's just trying to be as, like, just blank slate as possible.
Safira can do that.
I'll try to give a show before she walks down, like just putting one hand on her shoulder and coming
Okay.
in with just like a.
And
I'm giving you advice right now.
Peas and carrots, peas and carrots.
You've
peas and
got
carrots.
this.
And they part the way a little bit and they come down, and one of them kind of takes a little kind of ladder and he sticks it on the ground and puts it up against the edge, so you're able to kind of climb up and down. So Graven and Roa, you guys are at the perimeter, but you're not down in there, so you can kind of lean below the railing to kind of, if you want to say something to her. But there isn't like a true like corner separate from the rest of the audience. So she kind of climbs down the ladder here into the ring. And after that, they pick up the ladder and they kind of move it over to the side. She goes, nice to have you here. Gives you a handshake. And now, splash some ale around for the big man himself, the Chimera! And they do this kind of thing where they have this little ritual where people kind of clink their mugs repeatedly that are full. Kind of a clink, 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 clink. And there's ale kind of splashing off the sides, kind of coming down the side of the arena a little bit. And once again, the man kind of goes over, moves the bar, and the door rotates. And we're going to go to...
Oh no!
The outskirts.
My God, of course.
We're just riding
Oh my
away.
God.
We're so boring.
Oh my god, I'm so mad.
She-Wolf underlined. Close to 4 hours have gone by.
What?
God damn.
He underestimated on purpose.
When Leto finally diverts from the main path, you wonder how he's suddenly so confident in his whereabouts. But you soon see that he's making for a wooden stake, perhaps 3 or 4 feet tall, that's been driven into the ground just off the side of the road. And he points as he's sort of approaching it. You can see, again, the light of his lantern kind of illuminating out a little further than where he is. When I was fleeing, and I'd already dropped the whistle, I grabbed a broken piece of fence in case I had to defend myself. I was lucky that it never came to that. But later, I used that piece of fence to mark where we should leave the road. A little up the ways from here is where you'll start to see the markings on the trees.
Okay.
These are rats, weren't they?
I'm gonna take out the scarf
Okay.
and tie it around the thing.
So that post there, yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of take a moment, lean over. It's high enough that you can kind of lean down. Tie it on there.
Why are you looking at me angrily?
Didn't you say that you were going to do that last?
Well,
If this is where we veer off.
yeah, and if I put it at the last, it's just gonna be at the house. This is where they know to leave the road.
Well, hopefully they understand it because...
Safira's a tracker, she'll be able to see the horse prints.
Well.
A lot of pressure on Safira.
They'll get it.
Leto slows his pace. And then he takes his lantern off of the little hook on, like, off of his saddlebags. Now he's holding it up so he can kind of get a better look forward with the light. And it isn't long before he points into the distance a little bit. There's the first one. And he rides forward a little bit. And as he's riding forward and the light starts to pour over the tree that he's heading towards, there's a mark of bluish chalk visible. It's vague enough that someone who didn't know that they were looking for something would have a difficult time discerning that that meant anything. I mean, it's clearly blue, but from a distance, not super visible, especially at night. It's little more than a simple blue line, less than a foot in length. No arrow, no symbol, no icon, but it is tilted slightly off its axis. Enough for you to deduce that there might be a kind of trajectory that it's pointing towards. And he sees that one, looks at it briefly, and then starts to kind of...
Does it look like the chalk that I saw in, with, God, what was the guy's name? With the brother.
The Magomed brother.
Magomed,
yeah, when you guys open the puzzle thing,
Yeah.
it definitely looks like it could have. Yeah, it's hard to tell, just by looking at the
it's roughly
marking.
the same color.
Yes, it is roughly the same color as the Rot Grub chalk.
Everyone's like,
The professional name.
that's the stuff.
Another 100 feet in that direction. Another marking. One tree, leading to another tree, to another. Until you start to pair these tagged trees with other signs that Leto had also previously mentioned.
As we're riding along,
Yep.
can I look to
Yes.
Orba and just, make sure you're making markings, even though they're these blue?
Yes, I'm sorry, but...
Carving in the beaks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Into each one. You see dry horse droppings, grooves in the dirt where a wagon or a carriage might have passed through here. Another one. And then finally, you crest a little hill. Not too much, but a little bit of incline.
And the giant appears.
Is the camera on?
The camera's
Looks
okay.
fine, yeah, excellent.
Like, what?
You crest this hill and the ground dips into what could hardly be called a valley. It's kind of nestled in this little pocket between two raised pieces of terrain. There's a small stagnant lake, no more than 100 feet across. It's not like a true body of water, more like just because this depressed line kind of caught the rain, there's just a bit of buildup there. And beside it, there's a dilapidated dwelling. The exterior's been overgrown on most sides by a thick kind of moss. It's not entirely clear from the building's appearance what its original intended purpose was, but having visited the residences of Blamatula, Josco Tibbets, you know firsthand that there are those who simply wish to be left alone. It does seem it's been quite a while since this thing was used for anything other than the purposes it's currently being used for. Leto gets to the top and looks down. Everyone kind of pulls up, so now you guys are kind of in a line here at the top of this little hill before it dips down. I rode off in a hurry, but I don't see anything that looks different from how I left it. Are we getting closer? Waiting? What do you think?
How far away roughly are we? Sorry?
Just a couple hundred feet, like 200 feet away.
Can I take my spyglass out and
Sure.
get a closer
Yeah.
look?
It's dark. I mean, the lantern light spreads out a little ways.
I didn't know if my dark vision would help at
It
all.
only extends out to 60 feet, I believe, dark vision.
Right, I didn't know if it was affected by something that would magnify a distance.
A little bit, but I mean,
Okay.
yes, it's going to be. I mean, you could certainly, because of just the little bit of light coming from the sky and the lantern, like you can see the outline of the house, but it's hard to maintain like specific details.
But there's no like light sources or anything.
Not on
this?
the house, no, definitely no light source on the house.
I'd say have the whistle out and ready, and
Do I smell anything on the wind that smells?
Give me a perception check.
Or I guess the
Smells
guy.
the
ran
wind.
away, so maybe he could be.
Little hound dog.
In theory. God damn it.
It's not your night, man.
9.
You smell nothing that you haven't already been smelling. You have picked up that scent when you first met him. You think that the finger's still in the bag on his...
Oh, it's still there.
yeah, like on his horse.
Yeah.
So you don't pick up any differentiations between that and where you currently are.
Okay.
I'm gonna get the whistle out of my bag and just hold it.
Got it there in your lap, kind of.
I say, if it all looks the way you left it, we should approach.
All right.
Okay.
Leto kind of leads his horse down the slope a little bit. And you get down, and you do see what he mentioned before about there are a couple corpses of horses outside, like you get tied to posts. Clearly not recent. I mean, they're there. They've been eaten away at by some animals, it appears.
So we can't tell like how they died, really.
Give me an investigation check.
Redeem yourself.
17.
17. There is a little difficulty simply because it seems like some creatures may have eaten at them afterwards, but there are a couple deep slashes near the sort of neck that look, it doesn't look like something that was eating at it. It looks like something that kind of
Does it seem clean enough that it's weaponry, or could it be like a claw?
Maybe a claw, yeah. Not quite so clean as weaponry.
And how far, are we from the house this time?
I mean, you're riding towards it. Did you want to do something before you get close to it?
Well, I didn't know, are we tying up the horses far enough away, or are we trying to...
Yes, we should. That's smart in case, yes.
Far away from the house?
The home?
Just maybe something like 50
Where-
feet away, something like that.
Where did you put yours when you came before?
I didn't tie it up. I just left it.
We should tie up our horses.
We can. There are some emotions around. There's some trees. They're not super close to the house. I mean, you'd be tying them up like 70-ish feet away from the house.
That's very far.
Otherwise, there are hitching posts literally at the house, like with the horses. I mean, there isn't a lot between those two spots.
I don't know if we should bring the horses without clearing the house a little first.
I think that's probably true. You're saying just in case something attacks us?
Yeah.
All right, so then
So are we bringing the horses close, or are we leaving them?
I think we should leave them here and then run to them if need be.
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
He sort of turns his horse a little bit to the nearest tree that's kind of nearby, slides off. The branches are up a little bit, close enough that you can kind of throw something and pull the lead to it.
Lame.
So he ties. Everybody tying their horse to that
Yeah,
kind of nearby
definitely.
tree. Great. You start to walk towards it. Everybody give me perception checks as you're walking
I
towards
might want
it.
to
Yeah.
take something with me.
Sure. Something that's in your saddlebags.
Yeah.
Yes, that counts.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave
And
my
land it on
quarterstaff with the horse. I'm gonna take the silver gloves.
Okay.
Nice. I rolled an 11.
16.
So
Are you putting them on?
No.
Okay.
Because I think I get like disadvantage or something. We said if I do it, I'm not against a ethereal creature or something.
No, your to hit modifier is slightly lower.
No, I'm
because
not
they're
gonna.
heavy.
I'm gonna keep them off.
Okay.
Like in my bag, but
Sure.
I don't have them with me. What am I rolling for here?
Just perception checks.
7.
16.
16.
Thank you, B.
Orba.
She was
11.
11, sorry. So you guys start to move a little closer. And before you even reach the front, kind of, it's not really a porch, but again, kind of just a little sort of area just in front of the front door. There's a stench of death that hangs heavy in the air. And at first, like, it could just be the horses that you're kind of passing by on the way. And the wind blowing through this kind of a valley a little bit. It's enough to kind of push back and forth what remains of this smashed door. And the hinges kind of groan with each redirection of the wind. A recurring sound over and over again.
Now that we're at the door, how am I feeling? Am I smelling anything?
You're not smelling anything different.
How am I feeling? Am I feeling okay?
Yeah.
Should perhaps two of us who can see in the dark go in and make sure we can make a light source?
Sure.
Yep.
What race is Leto? I can't remember.
He's a human.
Oh, he's a human.
Yeah.
He has a lantern, though, right?
Yeah, he's
That's
still
what I
holding
mean,
it.
though.
Yeah.
It's before we make light or draw. I guess we're drawing attention to ourselves anyways.
No, I
We're
mean,
right
if the
in front
door's
of our house.
cracking, we can peek in though.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, smashed too. I mean, if you get close enough, it's like.
Yeah.
Okay. Erland, do you mind leading the way?
All right.
Okay.
I'll tell. Give
It's
me a
spooky.
moment. I'll go very quietly to the door and try and peer in.
Great. Give me a perception check. You might have to.
I know.
Okay.
19.
19. You get up and you take a peek sort of past. It's smashed up in a way that sort of leaves a little. It looks like something kind of tried to punch through it and then shoved it open. So there is kind of a hole.
Bigger than a human hand.
It's hard to tell because the door kind of split into pieces.
Like a
It's hard to tell. So as you kind of peer through that hole, It looks like, as you peer in, it looked like a kind of foyer or living area. It looks like there's a frame of a couch with no cushions that kind of sits there, and there's 2 doorways coming off of this first room. There's one off to the left and kind of one straight ahead as you look through the door. There's also a fireplace that's kind of on the south wall that you peek in. You kind of see it on one side. And as you peek, you kind of lift yourself up a little bit and look down, and there does appear to be kind of a dingy, disgusting carpet that's been stained in a number of places. Different sort of depths of darkness, a little light stain here, a little dark stain. It's hard to tell what one might be versus another. In front of the couch frame is kind of a trunk that looks like it was being used as a table. There's a number of broken bottles sort of strewn about both on the table and on the floor around it. And it's also where you see the first bodies. On the opposite wall from the door that you're kind of looking into, so right straight across. There's 2 men and a woman sitting up against one of the walls. Their hands down by their sides. And their heads pushed back into indentations in the wall, as if with one thunderous blow something smashed them back into the wall behind them. So there's like a circular dent in the back of the wall. And there's also kind of dried bloodstains coming from down around their noses that kind of look busted or broken from the impact. So something kind of came out, smashed.
This is a lot.
This what?
It's a lot.
Oh, it's a lock. I thought you said this is locked, and I was like, it's not locked.
You can see this.
This event is locked.
It's new.
And I'm not, other than the door, sort of, I'm not hearing anything. And some distance from Leto, I'm not smelling anything new. From the even I guess I wouldn't be able to smell myconid extract.
No, you've seen no evidence that you've been able to smell myconid extract.
Yeah.
You've detected sort of traces of these creatures passing through.
Yeah.
And again, you're still outside.
Myconids.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, again, you're not inside the dwelling yet. You're sort of just on the outside. Yeah.
I'll sort of lean back. I see the 3 bodies that he mentioned, but it seems quiet. I don't sense anything.
Okay.
Yes, I didn't see any more than those 3. Like I said, I only got into that first room, and then that's when the creature came out.
Right.
So there could be more. I don't know.
I think we're clear from creatures, it seems, for the moment, but everyone stay alert.
Alright, let's all enter the main room, I guess.
Yeah.
All
Stay
right.
out of sight.
So
You get onto the kind of flat porchish area. Crack the door open. You step in. Again, you see this kind of same scene taking place. The trunk, frame of the couch, the 3 bodies, 2 doorways leading into 2 other rooms.
2 doors leading into 2 other rooms.
Yeah, so there's one like to the left and then one almost straight across from where you entered into.
Should we check the other rooms?
yes, we should travel together just in case.
All 4 of us?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
All
fine.
Room off to the left, I guess?
All right.
Again, I'll lead the way quietly.
Sure. Lead the way up a little bit. And as you walk forward, you do catch a little bit of that earthy, sweet aroma, faintly detectable.
I'll hold a hand up as soon as I see
Much like it was at Josco's cabin. You do, because you've been up close to these creatures before, much like Josco's cabin, it has that faint fading smell, as if something had passed through, not as if something is present. Yes, that's the kind of scent that you get.
I don't put my hand.
Okay.
I would start
Remove it.
Is the door on the left? Are we passing closer to the 3 bodies at all?
It was on the opposite wall, but the rooms aren't big. I mean,
All right, no, it's fine. We'll proceed to that room first.
great. You guys start to walk through, and he still has his lantern that he's kind of holding up, and you can see the light kind of pouring through some of the. All of the windows are boarded up like heartily, not just like haphazardly thrown up. It seems like people have put some effort into making sure that they kind of have these reinforced windows just to make sure that nothing comes through.
Can I actually, I'm just gonna rest a hand on Erland. I'm going to start casting Detect Magic actually. Can you clear the room without me?
Yes, be careful, yes.
Okay, I'll go to the main room that we entered in that we've already cleared and in a corner somewhere so I can see if I have my eyes.
She's staying alone while the rest of the other 3 go into the.
Yeah, I'll just start casting it.
You guys walk into the second room. Second room was clearly a kind of kitchen of some sort. There's a large rusted cauldron over a long dormant fire pit, and there is a vent above it that looks like it was leading to the outside. It's mainly just like a carved, open wooden thing that leads to the outside to allow smoke to escape. There's some racks along the walls that are totally empty, and there's a table that has 2 chairs at it, one of which is smashed so it no longer stands up, so a table with kind of one functioning chair. The table is stained red from the body of the elven man lying atop it. He looks like he was lying on his back, and his neck is twisted so far that his chin is hooked over his shoulder, and a number of his teeth have spilled out onto the floor. And as Leto kind of comes in, he sees the body, and he sort of moves forward quickly for a second.
Not him.
Leto, do you want to just describe what your husband looks like and let us look for him?
I think I'd like to find him. I've already come to terms with the fact that he may be dead.
Okay.
Sure.
And that's all that you see in this room.
Okay.
There's another doorway.
And that leads to presumably the only other room? Or
The way that you've kind of moved, it looks like there might be 4 rooms. It looks like, because that first room had 2 going off of it, and then this one has another one. So yeah, there might be 1 room that you haven't gone to yet if you go into this next one.
Can I actually, before we go, can I take a look at the guy, pat him down, see if I find
the guy on the
anything?
table?
Yeah.
Yes. Give me an investigation check.
Oh, I forgot we could rob the dead.
12.
Investigate the dead. 12. You pat him down sort of quickly, and again, it looks like he has been dead for a little while. You give it a little look. He has nothing on him. No sack of coin, no vials, no nothing. There's nothing on him.
I'll say to Leto, is this Microl typically drank? Is it out of vials? Is it inhaled? Is it what?
I've never seen it myself, but from speaking around when I was trying to find this place, it's my understanding that it comes in a vial and you inhale it, the vapors from it.
So the vapors are in a vial. Do you have to ignite it in any way, or is it?
I think you
vapors
just
in a
open
vial?
it.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Are there smashed pieces of glass around?
There were in that first room,
Okay.
but in this one, no.
All right. So I'll proceed quietly again into the next room.
Should we go into the next room?
Yeah.
Sounds of footsteps on wood.
Should we go into the night?
Oh, I guess we're going. Sure.
The third room is a bedroom. Besides the large wardrobe on the far wall, there's only a bed frame with a disgusting moldy straw mattress, atop which 2 more victims lay. With no obvious hard surface near the head to utilize, it looks like their skulls had been knocked together at a great speed. Now blackened sort of dents around the cheekbones and eye sockets that look to have taken the brunt of the collision. And that's what you see when you come in. Just
Are they like clothed? Did it seem like
yes, they're clothed.
that were like
no, they were clothed,
okay.
and again lying in similar to the one in the kitchen, sort of lying back and neutral. And once again, no wounds along the hands or arms. It doesn't look like they sort of brought their arms up to defend themselves.
Like they were messed up on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Is this?
He takes a step forward.
No. I'll go over and pat them down, I guess.
Give me an investigation check. So your husband? No.
It's so to make sure
So
it's
we
not the
can-
husband before we.
Yeah. I don't want to.
You don't mind if I take a look.
17.
17. You give them a pat down. Check to see if pockets, anything that they have on them. Nothing.
Empty as well.
How long does it seem like they've been dead for? Is it tough to tell?
I mean, if Leto's sort of assessment of the man who came to speak with him, it's been over a week that they've been dead.
I guess I can ask that. Leto, remind me the circumstances within which this man visited you.
Circumstances how?
Like, did he just? Had you been? Did he find you because you'd been asking around? Was it?
I believe that's the case. Yes, like I said, I went to speak with people that I knew were my kind of distributors. No luck with them, and then one night he showed up. I assume someone had told him that I was asking about him.
And this was in Navikapur?
Yes, in Navikapur.
And he didn't identify himself.
He did not know.
But he said he knew of this place where... Did he say your husband had been there specifically, or just where Microl addicts
No,
had gone?
he said specifically. He said he was there when it happened.
He was a Microl user himself?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the implication, I believe.
Well, there's still one more room we haven't looked at
Go
yet.
quietly into the next room.
You guys search me.
Better not be fucking Roy.
The last room looks like a kind of former study, and as you walk into it, already you can see on your right, the opening there, you can see Orba in that room. So it looks like it loops around kind of in a circle, these 4 rooms. There's an empty bookshelf on one wall, and a flat desk that's pushed up against another one of the walls. There's a person here who looks like they may have had some degree of consciousness. They're partially standing on the desk, and it looks like they were attempting to pry one of the boards of the windows off. Their intention may be to escape through this opening, but the body is lying limp atop the boards, and it's been peppered by an array of thorns up and down the left side, a couple of inches thick in length, and they form these kind of deep puncture wounds in the leg, the hip, and the ribs.
Looks like spine buffer?
Yes. It certainly looks like, you don't know the exact, yes, but yes.
Yes.
It certainly looks like the thing that,
Norm did, right?
Norm did, yes. Yours looks a little different, but not that different, yes.
And no books in the room, no...
It's pretty empty, yeah. The bookshelf is completely empty. I can't see his face.
I'll go over to the guy.
Sure.
And I'll sort of gently
yeah.
try and sit him down, maybe, against
Sure,
the
and as you pull up, the arms kind of come over. You pull him down and you see a fair-haired man in his early 30s. A round face and a full beard. There's some tattooing on his left shoulder. A face with one teardrop shaped like an eyeball and feathers atop its head. You recognize this a little bit, you don't know exactly which one it is, but because you accompanied Orba to the New Kelkian church, it looks like one of the New Kelkian gods, like tattooed on his on his upper kind of arm there. You pull him down, and the face kind of hangs limp and turns a little bit, and you... And he puts the lantern down. And he sort of takes it as you sort of lower it down from the window. And he is having kind of a hard time looking at it. I'd like to take him back to Navikapura.
Of course. I'm sorry.
I have a bedroll attached to my horse. Wrap him up. And he sort of looks down for the first time. We never should have come here. And he sort of lets him. I'm gonna get the bedroll.
The halfling will go with you, just in case.
Let's go.
All right, thank you. He goes through, so he's going through Orba's room. This all happened very quickly. It's been about 5 minutes, so your sort of ritual casting is not completed yet.
Oh wait, yeah.
Is there anything that you're doing? So
I'll search the body while he's gone.
Mm-hmm. Give me an investigation.
Of course, he's certainly away. Yeah, go ahead.
14.
14. Pat him down. Nothing. No items on his person at all. No vials. Nothing.
So it's a face. It's like a face with a.
It has like a teardrop-shaped eye, and then feathers atop its head. You definitely recognize it as one of the, but you just don't know which one.
I'm busy.
And that's the only visible tattoo he has. Okay. And no, in terms of how he looks, there's no apparent. I don't know, like mutations like we saw in Vaclav or anything like that.
No.
And none of the other guys. I guess the
Not that you saw. No.
Okay. All right, I'll go back into the main. I'll sort of lean him, and I'll go back into the main room and I'll search the 3 other bodies in the room with Orba.
You find the same thing.
Okay, so other than glass and bloodstains, just looking around this room now that I have a second, there's no any of the rooms, I guess.
There was 2 things. There was a trunk and a wardrobe. Wardrobe in the bedroom, trunk in this room that's Orba's in.
Okay, I'll open the trunk and I'll go to the
So
wardrobe.
in order to do that, you kind of have to push aside some of the broken bottles and glass.
They're on the...
Yeah, they were on top of you, kind of...
There's no residue left in the glass at all?
Not that you can tell, yeah. I mean, if you take one and you kind of smell it a little bit, it smells like alcohol. It didn't smell like it was.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, it didn't smell like a Myconid or anything that you recognize.
Okay.
Push the ball. Open up the trunk, and there's a very dingy blanket on the inside that looks like it's been there for ages. Sort of moist, mildewy blanket there on the inside.
I guess I'll pick it up. See if it's...
Pick it up, and it kind of unfurls a little bit as you pick it up, and as you do, some insects kind of.
Get out of here.
Nothing underneath. Okay, then I'll go to the wardrobe in the bedroom.
Open up the wardrobe in the bedroom. Opening it uncovers another sign of someone who maybe wasn't paralyzed during the attack.
Oh no.
He may have hidden in here attempting to avoid the creature, but it was clearly found. Multiple knuckles on his left hand are broken, and there's a splintered piece of wood in the other. It lacks any kind of bloodstain that would indicate he was able to strike out or defend himself. And opposed to the blunt force of the others, he looks like he may have been stabbed both with that wooden piece, and there's kind of a gash and bloodstains along his abdomen. So it looks like, as opposed to the others, he may have made an attempt to defend himself, but unsuccessfully did so. Other than that, nothing in here.
And he's nothing on him. No mutant whistle?
Oh yeah, where's the whistle? No, the other one.
And there's no other door leading out?
No, just the one on the front.
Okay. I'll go back to the main room.
Okay.
I assume they might already almost be done, but I'm gonna look for stepping out. I want to look for tracks moving north to see if there's any.
Give me an investigation check. So Beezaura and Leto kind of go over. He sort of unhooks his bedroll there. Thank you. And you guys start to turn, sort of making a motion back to the building. And you spot a flicker of light.
No.
Coming from atop the hill that you guys came down, same direction that you guys came down. At first, just a little flash, but it's growing in intensity a little bit, and not only that, it's bobbing, as if carried by something. And you hear a little bit of hooves in the distance on this very quiet night. And Leto sort of...
Leto, I know you want to get your husband, but we might be getting some company.
I can roll him up very quickly.
Hurry up, I will get the others.
And he kind of goes in, pushes through the door. And as he sort of pushes through the door, he stops for a second.
What is it?
And he looks kind of down, goes back out, pushes out to the porch.
What is it?
And he reaches down, and stuck between sort of two wooden boards, sort of outside, barely visible, like it's good thing he knew where it was. He looks down, he sort of pulls at it, and it's the whistle there.
Yes.
Stuck.
And I'm gonna grab onto
Give me a.
Am I out front at this point, or was this happening?
You circled around the back to the north end.
Oh,
where
I
you
see.
were,
I
yeah.
see. Cool.
Athletics?
Yep.
18.
18. You reach down, you kind of push him aside, you take it with both hands, pull it free, it kind of snaps the wood a little bit, and you have the whistle. I'm gonna roll him up.
Hurry up.
Goes inside.
Do I see them right away?
You see, so Erland's sort of looking around outside. What was your investigation check?
5.
5. So you look around, and the smells are kind of confusing a little bit. It's hard to track anything, and if it left prints, they're not deep in a way that sort of is immediately visible to you.
So I guess hearing them.
Yes, you hear Leto kind of go in,
Do I
come
hear
back
that
out.
it's in haste?
Yeah, you can hear
Okay,
the
so then
footsteps.
I'll move quickly to the
Right.
front.
So you come inside, you see Orba there.
Orba, there's someone coming down the hill. We need to move.
Okay, am I done?
You are not. It
Damn
has not
it.
been 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Where's Erland?
I'm ready.
You come
is
back
he
in.
right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just comes in the door behind you.
He's rolling up his husband.
You
But
see in the back, he's kind of...
we need to get
Help
moving.
him,
There's
yes.
someone coming down the hill.
All right, I'll go and I'll help him.
Great. You start to help. You put the body down, and he's trying to, like, bundle it up a little bit. He has a little bit of twine that he's wrapping around to just kind of keep the body in the thing. Great, you're helping him do that. Give me a dexterity check, just straight dexterity check.
Does he
I'm
have a
gonna-
lantern? Oh,
Baby.
sorry, yes.
I'm just gonna say to Orba, like, Orba, we have the other whistle, so now we have 2.
Okay, great.
And can I hand it to you? Or no?
Yes.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
it.
Oh, yes.
So I'm gonna give it to her.
You give her the
Yeah.
second one?
17.
17. Great. The two of you cinch it up a little bit. And Beezaura turns around and looks out the door up towards the hill. And you see a small pack of men and women on horseback and carrying torches. perhaps 6 in total, riding down toward the abandoned house. They're not galloping, just a kind of steady pace. And there's nothing about their attire or look that seems to indicate who they are or where they come from. But they're riding down the hill now, so they have a view of the house. You're kind of peering through the door. They can't see you because of the darkness here in the little valley until they get closer. But yeah, you're kind of peering out. But they're coming down the hill at the moment.
The hill that we also
That you also came
so
down,
we
same
would literally
direction.
have to pass them.
Yeah, your
to
horses,
get away.
they're getting close. Their horses are like coming up on their right as they're sort of riding.
So they've seen our horses.
Not yet. They haven't given any indication that they have. It's very dark out and they're clearly making a beeline for the house. They're not like looking around, searching. I mean, they have not given an indication that they've seen the horses yet.
There seems to be 6 of them coming this way. No indication of who they are, but they're on their way down here.
Well, even if they're friendly, I don't feel like answering any questions.
Me
Do we
neither.
have time to go get our horses and ride off?
Hide. We should hide. We should hide.
They're going to see our
Okay.
horses.
I don't know. People come here, micro edicts, the horses could be not ours.
All right.
I don't know.
I mean, they're riding down the hill right now.
That exit that you just went to takes you to the back of the house?
There is no
There's
exit.
no.
You went out the front and went around.
Oh, we went around.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay.
Hide. We hide.
In the house?
Okay.
Yes. Then what else are we gonna do?
Get out of the house and hide outside of the house.
I agree
can't
with
run out
that.
the
We
front.
should leave.
We can't run out the front. They'll
They
see
can't
us.
see us yet. They're
Oh, they're
still
far
go-
enough. They're far enough away.
They can see
If
us.
you have run out the front, they could probably see you from here.
Douse your light. Douse your torch, please.
How far away are they? If we were to break a window, would they hear us?
No, I don't know.
I don't think
I
you
don't
know the
know.
answer to that.
Yeah, I don't know, Erland.
We're either hiding or we're breaking a board out the back window. Which of those?
I say they're coming to the house, so I say we break a board out the back and hurry up.
All right.
That way we're out of the house in case we
okay.
need to run to our horses.
Okay.
No?
I was going to disguise myself as somebody dead and just hide in the house.
Great. In the wardrobe, hide yourself in the wardrobe. Pretend to be dead. Under the bed, pretend to be dead.
Okay.
Sorry, no. In the is she small enough that she can fit in the trunk?
Yes.
In the trunk, in the wardrobe. I'll be under the bed. If anyone opens it, pretend to be dead.
Okay.
Okay.
And you see Leno goes to the wardrobe.
I'm gonna slide under the bed.
And he opens the wardrobe and he hadn't seen. He's and he gets in there with the body
Oh, buddy's having the worst.
and pulls it
night
closed.
Where's
the
the
stinky bugs?
Which wardrobe? Which room has the wardrobe?
The
in it?
bedroom.
I'm
Bedroom
gonna
has a wardrobe.
Cast disguise self.
Okay.
Can I change my appearance so that I look like drained or cold or
Drained cold, yes. You
Okay.
can't make lesions that looks like you're decaying or something, but yes, decayed and cold, yes.
Okay.
Because you can change your skin
Makeup.
color.
Hurry up.
Is there any blood that's wet?
Oh jeez.
No.
It's all dry.
Yeah.
You don't want to cut
They've been dead long.
Yeah. Okay. Orba's gonna do that, make her face all pale, and then
Okay.
she's gonna crawl in between the two.
In between the two
on
of
the
them.
bed.
Oh, God. Maybe the buggy blanket isn't too bad.
Everyone's getting under the bed.
Yeah. Is it like?
There's a little bit of space. Yeah, you can slide under there. It's tight. Cool. You can get under there. Yeah. Heading to the trunk.
It is the bed.
Trunk.
Is the bed available to get out on either side, or is
There's
it up
no
against the
lock.
wall?
On this
You
trunk,
can get
right?
on either side.
Okay.
Yep. There's no lock on it.
Okay, then I'll get in.
I'm also
There-
going to cast which realistically comprehend languages.
Okay.
hell yeah.
Not ritualistic.
Yeah, like
Okay,
instantly.
great. It's just
Hell
great.
yeah.
Cast a spell. And Beezaura opens the trunk and
As
you
long as I'm lost.
move the blanket and you see some of the bugs kind of crawling out of it. Steps in,
Oh.
takes the blanket, pulls it a
I
little
just
bit.
put the clothing and I said, oh, Erland.
You were in the trunk when we found you, Watkins.
Oh, I'm like a
Circle.
cage.
She's like, it's better than this.
And you hear the
This
horses
is disgusting.
Oh no.
This is the worst thing we've ever done.
coming up to the house. And we're gonna go back.
Oh no.
I'm gonna have to be in this bed for a week.
Oh no, we are. Oh.
I'm gonna
No,
be
you're gonna be in
swimming
the
with the
dead
bugs.
people bed
They're
for a
gonna
week.
light the house on fire and leave, and you guys are gonna be like,
That's probably best case scenario.
Well,
We can just leave a burning house.
I can't.
You hear the creaking of the door as the bar is taken off, and the heavy footsteps of someone moving down the hall. And again, the clinking sort of builds, and the ale's kind of spilling up over the top and down a little bit in the edges of the arena. The deafening clinking of the mugs fades in the background of Graven's head.
Oh shit.
Oh god.
you watch a person emerge forth. Small for a Goliath, but still big for a man. He has leather bracelets that fit snug around his wrists. At a quick glance, he seems to be wearing a sleeveless tunic, but he's actually shirtless, and there's an intricate web of tattoos along his chest and back that twist and turn at right angles, almost like a labyrinth or a maze. There's no hair atop his head, but he has an imperial-style facial hair, thick mutton chops that connect up into a mustache, but with a chin shaved, so it goes down and then up along the sides. His trapezius muscles stand out among his already daunting frame, a trademark look of certain Goliaths that have trained in an old style of combat and call themselves totem warriors, wielding logs that have handholds cut into them as their weapons. So it's almost like a big quarterstaff that you hold with two hands and you swing back and forth. It's Bourage. You know it. You don't know how exactly, but you know it. He takes his time and he moves around and he bows to members of the audience. He puts his hands together and he bows to a couple members of the audience. And he turns to Safira and he bows to her as well, with his fists together. But the showmanship that he has, it's a little weak and a little tired, as opposed to you saw the Son of Serpents and the Dream Eater that were kind of hyping up the audience. He needs no hyping. The audience is clearly into his appearance, but he's not sort of making a show of it. Another bow, and he looks up to the audience and he bows, and he looks up, and he connects eyes with Graven. And he smiles, and then it disappears, and he looks around to see maybe if he was caught. And Ro is sitting next to you, and he looks to you, and down to him. What was that?
Gonna be a good fight.
Make a deception check.
Oh no!
Wow.
This is exciting.
Deception. 6.
What are these rolls going
Oh my
He looks at you, and back down. You're not here to fuck me, are you?
No.
And he sort of leans back a little bit, watches the rest of the sort of introductions take place.
Oh my god, it's
The real one.
As he's finished bowing, sort of hides his smile a little bit, and he comes back to the center, where the man is kind of motioning both to the she-wolf and to the chimera. Pulls them in a little bit.
Holy shit.
And he sort of motions, comes in a little bit. Now, I assume you know the rules. Fists only, nothing below the belt. 2 knockdowns, and you're done. That's it, yeah?
Yup.
And as you sort of move off to your sides, he gives you one look and flicks his eyes up at Graven.
And I'm gonna kind of give him like just a quick little like nod.
And he turns and moves to his corner.
Holy shit.
Oh my god, it's
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
And the two of you get to your sides. He's stretching out a little bit.
Want this?
I need someone's attack. Yes.
Oh my god.
Does that mean he's gonna go easy on you?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't care about the fight. I think I care about the fact that we found Borash.
You don't even know that.
I don't know how much it matters if I win.
Yeah, I guess what would you...
Like, what? I don't know. Don't make it seem like a bargaining chip.
Israelites.
You just don't know it's
So we're going to prep for a round of pugilism here. I'm going to put up the
I would be willing
fight
to
tracker
do that.
for this. How many edge cards does Safira have?
1.
It's just the one? Give me a number between 1 and 9.
8.
That's going to be
Hey, but he smiled, you guys. He smiled.
He likes you
He likes
so much.
me.
He's like, my friend.
He thinks I'm here for a jailbreak. He's like, fire
He's
me.
like, someone's come for me. It's
Yeah.
amazing. He's like, I don't know.
All right, and you guys set your feet. Go ahead and read it, and I can explain.
So this says attacks
Sorry.
that you fail to negate get -1 fatigue or -1
-1 power, yeah.
Okay,
So if you
-1
fail to negate an attack, it still does 1 less damage
Sweet.
to you. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
That's
great.
good.
Okay,
But it's
great.
only played for 1 round.
Right,
Yeah, it's
okay.
a one-time use thing.
Just
Edge
a
cards.
buffer there.
Yeah.
Like, of course.
And the man in the center sort of...
course.
She-Wolf versus the Chimera! And another round of applause kind of goes around, the cheering and the chanting a little bit. And he pulls his hands in. Ready!
Ready?
Ready! And he nods. Fight! And they both go in. Roll for your composure there.
So wait, composure.
So it's your hit die.
It's D10. Okay, D10.
I'm not keeping track of this.
Which one? Where's D10?
I know. Very, very poopy.
And with advantage.
No, it's even a throwback. He knows that she's winning.
Okay.
Good rolls.
So it's the hit die
Yep.
plus your Constitution modifier
Yep.
plus
Constitution
50.
modifier. I forget. I think it's
It's okay.
plus 2. Plus Constitution modifier. All right. 26.
So dramatic.
Right.
Beep, beep, beep.
Safira's composition roll. And now roll for initiative as well.
Okay.
Who strikes first? 11 for.
13.
Yes!
Oh, good start.
Beat up Boorah.
So the two circle each other a little bit, back and forth, a little bit of testing each other's range a little bit, and then finally they come in for a couple strikes. Go ahead and pick 2 attacks out. And 2.
What are you gonna say to this guy?
Oh no.
Are you giving me a chance to say?
I know.
Do you want to ride with us to like this house where all the people might be dead?
You're gonna have to use up literally all those favors.
We're gonna have to break this motherfucker out.
That's what I just, that's what we're doing that.
To a prisoner of Azkaban. You look like him if you
Then I'm in
kill
prison.
you.
Leave Orba in prison forever.
Yep.
We trade.
He was my friend first.
That would be horrible.
Yeah.
All right.
So horrible.
So Safira's the first one to act, coming in with quick speed. She puts a foot forward. What do you come in with?
Just a head jab and a body jab.
Head jab, body jab. So
Going
he's using his
classic
special
boxing.
defense here, closing in, which is to negate one body attack. And if you threw 2 heavies times 2, he negates both, which you didn't. So right now he just negates a body attack.
Okay, so he just takes 2.
Takes 2, great.
You spend nothing.
Yep.
And then after that, comes in with 2 strikes. He's gonna come in with a head jab and a heavy linked attack, which is his special attack here. His other attack must be a jab, which it is. And if his other attack isn't negated, this attack gains +4 power if it's not
okay.
negated.
Okay.
So, what was your defense?
Counter.
Counter, great. So the head jab hits. That's 2 damage to Safira for the head jab.
Okay.
But the attack gains +4, so it's 9, and is getting countered by Safira, and it's rounded down. So he's gonna take 4 back for that.
So is that a head heavy?
It's a head heavy, yep. Head heavy.
It's like a
still
special
took
head.
2.
It's a special head heavy. She took 2 for the jab,
Right.
and now he's taking 4 for the counter, and then an additional 2 for the fatigue.
Right. She didn't take anything from that.
Not from the head heavy.
Yeah.
Great, yeah. So he hits her with the jab quick, comes in with a big one, and she hits him up underneath. And as he does so, he kind of leans forward and goes into like a clinch a little bit as he sort of pulls over, and immediately you can see the
Can
referee.
I take a second to look? I want to scan his body.
Yes.
Do I see scars?
Give me a perception check. And immediately as he kind of pulls in for the clinch,
It's 7.
you don't notice anything. You can see the referee immediately starting to step in to try and separate a little bit. Are you here with him?
Yes, I am.
And he pushes you off. And you separate. Do another round here.
This is
Oh my god.
You know how that last fight where there were no stakes? This is a fight
the opposite.
with all of the stakes.
Our fight had stakes.
Why didn't I win the other day? What if I was...
Oh, that would have been hot.
Are you okay? That would have been so hot.
That would have been like the warrior then. Come on.
Everybody's like, punch, punch, and we're like, ah!
Like, are they hugging?
I love you, brother.
Tap Tommy tap!
He's gonna play an edge card as well.
He's playing an edge card.
Yep, he's playing an edge card.
Are they kissing each other?
Alright, circle once more. Come in. What does Safira come in with?
She's coming in with a body strike and a head strike.
He ducks and weaves.
Oh,
So he loses 1
Shit.
fatigue for that.
What did you spend, Safira?
That was, I think, 2 total.
Okay.
2
so you're at
total.
22.
Ducks, and then he's gonna come back with a double head strike.
Oh, too bad! Head
How
does
she know? In addition to that, however, he played any attacks that are negated reduce their fatigue by 1, so he also loses no fatigue for that. That was his edge that he used there.
Smart.
Oh, okay.
So they were both negated, but he doesn't lose any fatigue.
Quite a fight night.
But that edge is gone.
Shit.
We should have brought wings.
And once again, as he comes in once more, he kind of grabs you by the shoulders after missing the 2 attack, and he's kind of grips his arm around the other side of the neck, and immediately some of the people, oh, he can't do that, why? Like people sort of complaining, a little bit of jeering and yelling, and he pulls you in once more. Do you know about the beast?
Oh, yes, I do.
Pushes you off.
What is happening? Okay.
All right, one more round here.
This is pay-per-view.
My heart.
Yeah, this is
This is
$90 on ESPN Plus.
This is it.
Can we say that?
Yes, we can. We have the rights.
You can sponsor us if you want.
Same demographic.
Disney owns that, not Amazon.
Oh, that's risky. I don't like that.
Who do we want to win?
Oh shit, oh shit.
I mean, who do we want to win?
I think we still want Safira to win.
I think we want Safira to win.
Yeah.
We're gonna get so much money.
Okay.
All right, he sort of comes back around. What does Safira come at him with?
Okay, I'm coming at him with body heavy and a head jab.
Okay, the head jab hits. He uses footwork, so he kind of dances around a little bit, but gets smacked by the quick jab. He also loses 3 fatigue for the footwork, so
I'm
5
keeping track
total.
of this.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes.
I was like, what are you looking at me for?
what?
Oh my
I got you.
god.
I got you.
All right, someone in the
Loses 5
chat.
total.
What just happened?
No,
What
we got
did you
it.
spend quickly?
Yeah, what did you
I
spend on that? It was a head heavy
It was
and a
body
jab.
heavy and a jab.
So 2.
So 2.
So
Okay.
2, yeah.
Sorry.
Great. Comes back at you with a head strike body heavy.
Oh, too bad I countered again!
Countered again, so the head strike hits. Safira takes 5 for the head strike.
Okay.
And then he takes back, including, well, we'll do fatigue last. So he takes back 3 for the body heavy.
I'm not doing this.
Don't worry, I'll get used to it. I have it correct, I just keep pointing at you.
You're giving me a heart attack.
And then he takes 3 fatigue for that as well. Great.
Mommy, you can be tracked.
Countered once again, up underneath, and he puts one hand on her shoulder, kind of pulls at her a little bit. And at this, like this third time around that this is happening, Roa's kind of leaning in a little bit. What the fuck is going on down there?
What the fuck do I know?
And Roa gets up,
no.
he disappears back into the crowd, sort of shuffles back beyond a few people here. And as he pulls you a little bit closer once again, little Vigos gave up everything to get that creature locked up where no one could find it. Graven needs to get to Finlock Forest. Pushes you one more time.
Can I go after Roa? Is
You
it too
may.
late?
No, you can.
Okay, I'm gonna try to go up to him and like grab
A
his
little
arm.
bit. Great. So you start to move. We'll reset for this round as that's happening.
This is
15.
pivotal.
You're Il Vigo, he's Il Cravo? Other way around? Yeah.
He's
right.
a crowd. He's a Graven's Vigo, yeah.
And he said the Il Vigos gave up everything?
Yes.
What?
So they know you're alive.
No.
Oh god.
Don't. Yeah.
Playing my edge card.
I'll wait till you
Okay.
explain it to us later. You know me, right?
Oh.
3 steps behind everybody.
He's gonna do
My
that.
little
He is
legs
also
don't
gonna
keep up
play
with
his
what's going
second
on.
edge here.
Boy, he's got 2 edges?
He does.
Shit.
All right.
The band also walks out now.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is getting weird.
All right. Comes in once more. What does Safira hit him with?
Okay, I'm doing a double body heavy.
Double body heavy general defense. Both of them hit. Comes in. And this time, rather convincingly, he kind of doubles over a little bit. And this time, it doesn't quite look as much like he kind of grabbed
yeah.
you.
Okay.
Sort of comes in close, and the two of you kind of rattle into each other a little bit. That's 12 total.
Yeah.
You spent 4?
When I spent, 4.
4.
Oh my god. No, wait. Yeah, it was
He
four.
comes
Was
in
it 4? Wait, is that right? Yeah, it was 4.
with a double body heavy.
Oh! The hits both hit.
Both hit.
Attacked, yeah.
He also used 1 heavy attack gains +2.
Oh no!
That's
I played
a
my edge card though, so that means that I get the attacks I fail to negate get
Yep.
-1 force.
-1 power. Okay,
Yeah.
so you got hit with 1 6 and 1 7.
Okay,
15.
down.
Great. And he takes 4 fatigue for that.
Yikes. Oh, I'm down. Okay.
Yeah. Safira goes down to the floor, and he kind of goes down after like he's gonna hit you on the ground, and a number of people are sort of sort of pointing at the thing, and he kind of comes down like he's gonna strike, and immediately the ref's kind of going in to block him hitting you while you're on the ground. If I told you I am here, Graven would try to get me out, and I can't risk that. Go north, and he reaches up like he's gonna hit, and the ref kind of grabs the back of his arm, and he pulls himself up and away.
Wow.
You make another roll for your
Is that a
composure.
D10 or is
Yes,
that...
with no advantage this time. That's
Oh, it's huge. It's
It's great. I know, for a second I had a panic where I was like, 0! Okay.
That's fine.
We need to have
10,
so much
okay,
beer.
so it's 12 plus 15, right? Okay, so 27.
and did you do your Constitution modifier as well?
Yeah, that's
10
it's
plus 2 plus
15.
15.
Yeah.
Yep.
27.
Sorry, 27. I'm so sorry.
Great. Okay, so Graven, you kind of go after him. Give me a investigation check as you try to track him through the crowd.
Investigation is not good for me. 5.
5. He sort of moves along one, and you try and push one guy out of the way, and you look again, and then you sort of think you saw him, and you push through one, and he's disappeared.
Oh.
And you look around a little bit, and you don't see him. What do you do?
I keep going in that direction to try to find him.
Okay, keep looking
shit.
through the crowd. Great, takes a couple more steps and looking around. You're up above the general line of
Yeah,
people, so
you
you can
are.
see down. The problem is it's very dim, and a lot of people are wearing similar kind of ratty tunics and things. From the back of people's heads, it's very difficult to sort of pick out one person from another.
I'm gonna give it another like 30-45 seconds of looking for him, and then I'll head back.
Okay, great. Okay, we're gonna start another one. Now Buraj is hitting first because we switch.
Oh, Jesus.
We're gonna get thrown in jail. We're gonna need to get fucking broken
Yeah.
up.
Graven stands in the middle of the crowd. I'm gonna get thrown in jail. I didn't think I was coming in here, but I'm going to.
I was only gonna be here for a couple hours, and I think I'm gonna be here forever now.
God damn it.
Can't!
Ah! My head is hot. I've got a hot head.
My head is hot.
Did Barrage first come up in episode 0 or episode 1?
The ledger.
0 Buraj. All right. So they circle once again, and this time, sort of coming at you after getting up, quickly comes in, and he's the first one to strike. He goes double body strike.
Okay, I did counter.
Counter, so both hit.
Yeah.
8 to Safira.
Woo! Ow.
And at this, the crowd can sense her getting beat up a little bit, and you see some people kind of shaking their heads, sort of thinking that this challenger maybe not hyped up as they thought.
You know.
What do you come back with?
Come on.
Sorry, you got it.
I'm
You
back
got
with
it.
body jab and a head heavy.
The body jab hits with footwork. One body jab, and as he kind of comes up, you hit him, and he sort of and goes down to one knee.
Is that
And he picks himself up. Yes, that was a down. And the guy comes in to separate them.
Okay.
All right,
It's a
so I
poopy
got
roll.
one down. Okay.
You're at 17.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot of footwork.
You probably got a lot of constitution on.
Yeah.
Okay, goes down to one knee, and you see the ref kind of come in to stop you from hitting him again, and he picks himself back up. You don't find him during that time, so you headed back down towards the ring.
Yeah. Can I get to seeing where he had come out from? Can I kind of get to the edge, close to where that?
You can get
entrance
close, so
slash
there's
exit is?
no railing like directly above where it was, but just off to the sides. There's like a pillar there where people can't like reach down or throw stuff at people to keep people from throwing shit at the prisoners or whatever. But it's like nearby, like down to your right. It's not within like reaching, but yeah, I mean you're right
I'll
there.
Try to
kind of.
get down.
Great, so Graven kind of shifts through the crowd over in that direction. All right. Safira is striking first once again.
That's awesome.
Oh,
I do not want to be you right now.
Okay.
come on, Buraj. What you fucking got?
All right. Circle once more. 2 steps. Comes in. What do you go at?
I've got a body heavy and a body strike.
They hit duck and weave.
Whoa!
How much total there? One.
So that's 10 total
10
damage.
total and
That's
one
pretty
more for the duck and
fatiguing.
weave.
You guys are playing this game on a level I can't.
Comes in, 2 to the body, and he's trying to move out of the way, but 1 to the ribs. And as you get in close, one of those was a jab, is that correct?
Yes, one of those was a jab.
As you get in close for the jab, he ducks his head down a little bit. The Elvigos had a contact in Wampiranina. His name was Pockets. Seek him out. Pushes you away once more.
Safira's like, Wampiranina, Pockets, Wampiranina,
Well, she's getting punched in the face.
And as he pushes you away, he comes back with his combo, which is a head strike, head jab.
Oh, too fucking bad!
Unbelievable.
What did you play?
Head
protect.
Oh, okay.
One.
Jesus, you're a monster.
All right. They circle each other once more. The crowd sort of feeling it, a little bit of the momentum shifting a little bit.
Come on.
Seriously, it's good you didn't win that last fight, because if you were in this ring right now,
It wouldn't be good.
it'd be weird.
It'd be obvious. More obvious than
We're both
this.
just like,
Like, I decide not to hit. Like, what?
I hold my action.
I'm just gonna take it.
Keep sliding too, as I did in the other event.
No, you look fine.
I'm centered enough.
Yeah, you look
close
fine.
enough. All right, once more. You can see him panting a little bit.
Jesus.
What do you come at him with?
I'm coming at him with a head jab and a head heavy.
They both hit. He goes for the body, closing in 1. What is the total on that?
That will be a total of 10 damage.
10 damage. Nothing for that one.
And that's 2 fatigue for me.
Great. 250. And he comes back. Body strike times 2.
But that hits. Counter.
Counter. So you take 8 there. He takes 2 fatigue.
You're at 4. You're at 4. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
He's got first strike. That's good.
Yep.
yeah.
2 to the body. And it looks this time like he kind of comes in a little bit for the 2 strikes, but the ref like immediately steps in. He's kind of tired of this kind of clinch and push and clinch and push. He immediately comes in after the 2 strikes and is kind of, he doesn't push you apart, but he's kind of in there in the thick of it. And he backs up. He doesn't say
He
anything
slaps
to you.
the ref.
I'm gonna talk about pockets more! I can play my edge again, right?
No,
Can I not?
one time
I
use.
can't.
Yep,
Okay.
one time use.
Pockets.
Pockets.
Gotta find pockets.
Do you know what that place is?
No, I do not. That's a negative.
I might. It might be able to see your shit.
You can take a little look at your Novikapur map.
Yeah.
Remind me the name of the thing you just told me because I feel like I wouldn't have forgotten.
Wamparani Na.
Wamparani Na.
Which
Wamparani
is,
Na.
I mean, I can say this without, you don't know this, that's a section of Novikapur.
Okay.
And
and
you don't know that, but...
He said, what? There was a P something?
Pockets.
Pockets!
Gee, I'm sorry, I'm distracted! She's getting punched in the face! Pockets
Even
in
I remember
Wamparani
it.
Na. There
That's
are
not
pockets
fair.
in Wamparani Na. I get it, guys.
Just
I'm
win
Okay.
the fight. Just win the fight.
They'll watch another play back tomorrow.
Yeah.
What do you come at him with?
I'm coming at him with a body heavy and a head heavy. I'm just gonna knock myself out.
General defense, they both hit.
Oh my god!
With one thunderous blow to the head as he's kind of coming up, it catches him on the chin.
Whoa.
And he backs up again.
Holy shit.
And falls forward onto the floor. And the place erupts, and you can see people sort of shaking each other and screaming. And that's where we're going to end it.
Wow.
Congratulations to the she-wolf herself, Sophia.
Like,
Feeling it, Sophia's like, oh!
And everyone's like, since when did she like?
oh my god. Nobody could say that fight was thrown. Like,
Right.
I mean, the first sort of clinch is, I mean, they've
Yeah.
watched him fight before. He was kind of like, what is this? What's going on
Yeah.
here?
But he won. He shouldn't care now.
Yeah, so that is where we will pick it up next week with the conclusion
I'm gonna have to rewatch that so
of
many
a
times.
tremendous match between Safira and
Yikes,
Beezaura.
bro.
God.
And then we will return to the abandoned house. south of Leopold's Garrison and find out.
Seriously,
there-
we
We
with the
did
dead
not pick
people.
the right side quest.
Yeah, you guys got
Definitely not.
Is there?
When you're in a game and you're looking at the side quest and you're like, ugh, that one.
Go to fight night with awesome fighters. Or
Investigate dead bodies.
And then become a dead body.
There's not really
my
any obstruction here. Like, I could just jump into the ring right now. Right?
Yes. I mean, you could hop the railing. There's a railing.
Oh, my.
I could.
Well, you
hop
could because you're her coach.
in. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh.
Just hop in and.
Hey, champ.
We'll see. Find out next time. Find out next
Oh
time.
my god.
So again, Safira doesn't know this on your map there. Actually, I think I have one too. There's 4 sections of Navikapura, and some of them have names that are the sort of commoner names, and then the locals have names for them. Wampurani Na is coastal Navikapura. It's the easternmost Navikapura with the ports and everything on it, Wampurani Na.
Isn't that where our guy said
Uberti
was like
is.
the rich people live?
That's where they
Uberti is in Fangol in Wampurani Na.
Okay.
But he called it, Leto called it coastal Navikapura because he's
Right.
he's not from there originally.
She-wolf.
Wow.
Woo.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
We will be howling into the night and picking it up there
That's
next week.
unbelievable.
Congratulations. Thank you all so much for joining us for an exciting episode.
Yes, thank you. I know I already said it, but it was in the middle of the thing, so thank you, Somber, for gifting 5 subs.
Thank
That
you
was
so
awesome.
much. Yeah, you inspired Safira to
Yes.
a victory.
That was it.
Oh, and Skull Grimer did, I'm sorry, how many bits? 1, 2, 3, 500 bits. So thank
Oh,
you so
wow.
much.
So
Skull,
much.
you're awesome. Thank you all very, very much.
Happy
Love you guys. Happy Valentine's Day. Show the love. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time
next
on
week.
Tabletop.
Bye.
Goodbye.
you.